Live from the Loki studio for this Thursday, the 1st of February, it's Back Pocket. Brought to you as always by our loyal and lovely Back Pocketeer patrons. This week starring Stephanie Van Dixon.
It's a video game.
What?
PS5, if you don't, I'm so sorry.
Ruby Innes.
Duck?
Nice.
No, not for you.
Peter Burns.
Get yourself a waterproof MP3 player, hop on a Lilo, float, listen.
Gus Ronald.
Yep.
I'm fine.
Don't break that box.
Mad
Why?
X89.
Because I want it.
Oh my god, you just...
No,
You're
but
doing it wrong.
Because
Shit, yeah, cool. It's nothing. And behind the scenes, it's Josh, Will, and Ben. Tonight on the show, we check the state of play and pick our pocket leagues for the year. Now get ready, it's time for Back Pocket. Welcome to Back Pocket for 2020 fucking 4!
Oh, language! Come on now. Come on now. A bit blue to start off.
I'd start by
yeah.
saying something, but we pre-recorded it and I don't have to say anything.
It's all
We can
done.
just go straight into small talk. How's everyone doing?
Good.
So
Thank you for
good.
asking.
Yeah.
The best day of my life so far.
What do we think of the new
Wow.
title?
Are you asking us or are you asking chat?
I'm chat and that. What do we
Chat
think?
and that. Wrong seats. I can't handle change. Dump days. There's a lot of change tonight. There's
This
a lot
is
of
so
change
much change. We are
Graphics have
changing
changed.
things and
There's
graphics.
also another main character that's missing. Can anyone say what it is?
That was last year.
Oh, the table.
Oh
yeah.
the table.
Yeah, we ditched the table. We thought we'd try and sit a little, let's us sit a touch closer to each
Hang on,
other.
hang on. Can we walk back to the hard worked on, animated, voiced, not just where the fuck's the table
Yeah,
now?
but the table, like, this is interesting because the table was here, and now it's back.
The
it's
only
back
thing anyone
here.
cares about is the table. Also,
Josh, it's
because
back-
there is nowhere to put my feet, Ruby and I came up with a way
Here.
to
It's really
elevate
good.
our legs that will be
Is it wear cargo
Yeah,
pants?
yeah. It's okay. 1,
two.
Oh god.
3.
It's like a leg Jenga.
Yeah. And so we just
but
do it
it's
like
perfectly counterbalanced so that we can both have our legs up.
Evacuate. Evacuate.
Go, quick,
this.
Evacuate.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
You guys,
There's Kim Possibles.
yeah,
on
it's the cargo pants. You guys look particularly active and like capable. As like,
We
yeah,
didn't even plan this.
we could climb a rope over a wall if we
Yeah,
had
we're just
to.
kind of like this.
No, it's
You both look great.
Thank
Pete, you look very blue.
Thank you.
Your hair's brown.
Thank you.
You're
I did not think about wearing shorts on the day that we do not have a table to cover up some of my leg. So I'm
That's
showing
all right.
a
Oh,
little leg
they're very
for it.
tan.
different.
leg.
People what they
Pull
want.
the socks up.
I've started doing the long white socks with the white shoes
They're not
thing.
long.
Well, they're longer than my usual little anklet ones. I walk around. I'm like, I'm always behind trends. I'm like,
Yeah, okay.
I'm doing the one-armed backpack, and everyone's double bagging it or double
yeah,
strapping it.
yeah.
And then I'm like short little ankle socks, and everyone's rocking these big kind of like tube sock
Now you
things.
need a pair of the dad New Balance sneakers that were super uncool, then suddenly got cool.
Okay, you want better.
And then got uncool again.
And I might just be too late for this trend, but I have been rocking the Crocs with socks.
It's true.
So I've been enjoying them with some long white socks. They are particularly comfortable.
I think you posted a picture in
I
Discord.
did,
as well.
and
You
everyone
outed
asked,
yourself.
how did you take this picture?
Yeah.
It took a lot of time.
I feel like by the time I get the confidence to try something fashionable, it's already over.
That's kind of
Yeah.
where
it
I'm at
takes
with the
me
Crocs
that long
thing.
to get there. I'm like, fine. I'll wear the cargo pants I wore when I was 13. Fine. And then everyone's like, cargo pants? No.
Cargo pants
Yeah.
are actually out.
I'm pretty with the trends. I just saw like tickets for a group called the Blue Man Group, and I was like, I've got to jump
can
on that.
wear myself.
I can jump on that,
This new
that
movie
bandwagon.
just came out. It's called Avatar.
Yeah.
My favorite thing that happened recently that I was talking about this on in my chat the other day. I see every time I see the word based, I have to re-Google what it means because I'm like, I feel like I know, but I get the context wrong.
Based
And
on what?
based what?
Yeah.
It's,
It's giving. It's
my
giving
understand-
what?
Is it a true story? A tea story? A wig
Yeah.
story?
Oh, is it wig?
my understanding is it's like
It's based.
it's like you're
don't know.
you're speaking your truth, and it's like you don't care about like what other
no,
people.
it's like-
No, it's like so it comes from
like socially
it comes from,
progressive.
It comes from Lil B the bass god. Woke is socially progressive. Lil
Isn't
B the
bass the
bass
same?
god kind of came up with based.
I
That's
thought-
where it originates.
I thought it was like
from.
you were sharing your perspective.
You also
on
didn't
something.
tell us what it is.
Based
You
is like based is like sick. Like, oh, that's based.
So
It's
it's
like
cool.
top tier.
But it's
all-
no,
yeah,
but it's
it
more.
rocks.
But it's more than that.
But
It's
it's
more
but
than
I
that.
only ever see it in the context of this person is based because of an opinion that they've had.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
which is typically like the in opinion.
We're getting-
it's like that was, you know.
We're getting a lot of sighing and grunting from a camera we haven't cut to yet to say, hi, Josh, it's 2024. How are you, Josh?
Hello, everybody.
And a Will
And
back
Will.
there.
And
Josh,
Will's here too. Will's here too.
Well, what does based
what is
mean?
bait? He doesn't want to know.
The
He
point
doesn't.
of the point of the
Doesn't
story
wanna
was that
know.
when I went to Google what based meant, the first question that came up that other people had Googled was, does based mean cringe? and I was like,
Even.
I see that person
Yeah.
and I know them.
I see
and
you, I
am
hear you,
them.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I see you, I feel
Does
you.
based mean
by
cringe?
little B, is that who you're talking
Lil B,
about?
yeah. Lil B, the
yeah,
base
for
god.
being yourself and not caring what others think of you, to carry yourself with swagger. It's based on the slang term that originally meant to be addicted to crack cocaine.
So
Great.
it really means a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
shout
did
out
get
Lil
It's in a
B.
multi-context situation.
Well, to walk it back, yes,
Based.
I've been based. Now you know.
He's been wearing Crocs everywhere.
But then I got Crocs, and I was like, I'm on trend. And then someone's like,
Fleek,
oh, have
you're
you
on
bought? Have you bought? I'm fucking gonna get this wrong. They're like, have you bought your giblets to put in them or something? Your
Your gibbles.
gibbles. They're the little
jambles.
things that
You can put 'em in the hole.
accessorize that you put in all
Or are
the
they
little
just
holes.
jibs?
Jibs?
Can you
Chat?
get
What are they
Pandora
called?
charms for your
They're
Crocs?
pretty much
Yeah,
that.
they're basically
Like,
that.
but
You can
like-
get croc nuts too.
what?
What's a crop
So
nut?
if you're not in sports mode, if you
Gibbets?
are in sports mode, which is when you put the strap on the back, there are like
Okay.
you can hang these like croc nuts, which are like made of the same material
But they're little-
on the back,
little
and so you got
testes?
nuts on the back.
Well,
Yeah.
I've seen you can get little exhaust pipes and spoilers on the back, and I
Oh,
was
is that,
like,
is that because of Lightning McQueen ones?
yes, there are those. I saw
My
Jen
dance
had
teacher
those.
said her son. I probably shouldn't say this.
Nah, don't.
Don't dox your dance teacher or their kids.
Yeah.
Either way, Crocs just about to go out of fashion. Being told by the person who
Yeah.
just started wearing them. My last fashion thing is I'm rocking my
Oh, it's his back pocket on it.
my back pocket 5.
Was that your little
Oh,
your
the
little
shirt,
pop pals?
nice.
That's cool.
Wore this as part of Team Inferno. The winners of the audience vote, I like to think, but
I disagree.
well, we should give a massive shout out. I was just going to say thank you to Nicrotex who ran the Pocket Pals over the break. Highly successful. Big round of applause to Nicrotex.
Thank
Claps
you,
in the chat.
Nitro.
If you didn't, you can go back and watch all those on YouTube. We all took part in that as
did.
part of Team Inferno over here. That was so.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me, loser.
Yeah.
on my team! And it was an extended arm pat.
Yeah.
I was
versus-
part of a winning Inferno team. The only winning Inferno team, in
yeah,
fact.
but
Yeah.
it was a close game.
Actually,
They were all very close. It was
you
actually
guys
like
Team Quantum.
they were both quantum. yeah.
We're both quantum. Yeah.
Testament to
I'm still salty about that.
to Nicrotex
okay.
and the team
My win was
producing all the
dedicated to
content.
you.
Thank you.
Because all of the nights were really close in terms of points. It was well balanced and well produced based on teams that were put together. So
If anyone
well
in
done.
chat wants to quickly check, surely I think my Team Inferno scored more points than your Team Inferno.
but that doesn't matter because the
But
games
does
were
now.
different.
Because
No, the games
We
were
had the-
different.
our-
So there were more points available.
Our episode had the most points.
we had the most entertaining episode.
Yeah, because
win
we're
on that
just
one.
both so excited. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you to Nitro for running it and for all the Pocketeers who came along and were part of it, and those who helped, as you said, behind the scenes, help Nitrotex put that together. It was a monumental effort and heaps of fun, and a great way to keep the channel going while we were away, and a great way to stay in shape. So we have a jam-packed show for tonight. We have other new bits and pieces, but we've got some old segments as well, and we should kick on with the first segment, which is an old one. It's a little bit of backup.
It's me.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
It's a little bit of backup, baby, and this one's sponsored. Sponsored? Yeah. Brought
Yeah.
to you. It's brought to you and sponsored by Reese Wild.
Welcome back.
Hey.
That's
It's the
what's
welcome back
up.
episode.
I thought that was Will. I looked to the end of the room. I was like, what?
Funny if you just said it every time.
Yeah.
And with our segments presented by Reese, we get a wild animal noise that none of us know, only Josh, and we all have to guess what it is.
Oh,
Okay.
I forgot about this game. How
Yeah.
Reese
So-
picks the
Are we
sound.
ready?
Open your ears and not your eyes. Let's go to the wild.
Peter,
Fuck.
that is a tortoise fucking a croc.
Wrong. Would you like to hear it again?
Can I
One more time. Oh, God.
Peter.
come on.
No, you go.
No,
you go.
let's Steph.
I'm buzzed
You go,
out.
girl.
I'm gonna say it's a frog.
So wait,
Definitely
we're
sounds
just gonna say the
reptilian,
animal.
doesn't it? Yeah.
You say turtle, frog.
I said tortoise.
Anyone have a guess?
Well, I just agree with Steph.
Okay.
Like, I won't guess. I just my points to you.
No.
I reckon because
Is that what you needed? You want
I
me to
reckon
make
it's a.
No.
My
Okay.
guess is that peacocks make the.
Yeah.
And then I heard peacocks over the holidays and realized they're the noise that they use in Up for that big bird that likes the chocolate. And he goes, and does a little more like that.
So you
I
think it's
reckon
a
it's
peacock.
just a really horny peacock going,
I recently went on a fact-finding mission because there was a weird lizard when I was in Bali that made a sound that was like
Little gecko.
a little gecko. It
we've
goes
had this discussion.
Gecko.
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 Yeah.
I love
And
seeing
but-
geckos in Bali.
Yeah. And they're all so happy with
This is like-
the little squishy fingers.
My thought that the
But-
noise
but-
they make was plungers going.
But during that, I heard a lot of different frogs, and I feel like I didn't hear that sounds, but I heard some weird sounding frogs that I was like, I thought frogs weren't ribbit. Turns out they make all kinds of sex noises. Yeah.
Put us out of our
Great guess
misery.
from Steph because Steph is right. It's a frog.
Hey, nice.
Let's hear that sexy frog one more time.
Well, I have footage actually.
What? Oh, there's a clip. Guys.
Oh, yes, I've seen this video.
Oh, it's an Aussie dude.
He's like a balloon right now.
Oh, no,
Yes, I know, but have you not figured out that you've already been captured? Yeah?
It even finished.
They like put his head right.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
Oh.
thank you for that, Reese. Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Reese.
Thank you. Wonderful work.
Awesome
Thanks so much,
wild
Reese.
animal noise. We love to hear it.
I like that Ruby went, take us to the wild. It's like, oh
I'm
my
like, oh, not that kind of wild.
That was like a flash dance moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
pulls a little rope.
Its little legs are
Yeah.
just going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of beautiful. But we are in a little bit of backup, and something happened today.
What?
The PlayStation State of Play.
Can you say it how you said it in the
The
rehearsal?
PlayStation plate of
Plate?
Slay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or as I like to call it, the PlayStation plate of Slay.
Yes.
So
What was that last one?
I don't know what that was.
a little bit of
It's like when Doja Cat goes ugh in her songs. I like it. Ugh.
Yeah,
Talking about
I love
pocket.
that.
20% gaming news, 80% sound effects.
or when Megan Thee Stallion goes,
Yeah.
I love her. But yeah, it was PlayStation State of Play
It
this
was.
morning.
Yep.
And we saw a bunch of videos
Of games.
of games.
Was
And
this
there were-
announced or did this? I was oblivious
It
to
was.
it. Okay, cool. It wasn't a
was.
sneaky drop of a, we've just
No,
snuck
no,
one of
it
these
wasn't a
in.
sneaky
Okay,
nut.
Planned even.
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we saw a bunch of different stuff that was announced prior. Like we saw some more information from Stellar Blade, which
Yep.
kind of went. It was supposed to come out last year, or at least was announced at some point last year or the year before, and everybody's like, "Whoa, this looks absolutely sick! It's got a bit of Bayonetta-esque, a bit of Cyberpunk, maybe even a little bit of Nier. It looks beautiful,
Yeah.
and it is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, which there's not many of.
Yeah.
No,
Is it
totally.
still just this and Returnal? Like,
Well,
I'm
and,
sure there's
and
got to be.
Forsaken, which
Oh,
this
yeah.
like there are moments where they're out in the desert in this game, and I was like, oh, this is the game Forsaken
Wanted
is
to be.
meant to be.
Right. Yeah.
Like this, there is
Wow.
a game here plus beautiful particle effects, heavy action RPG, light RPG. I think it's more of an action kind of brawler game with a deep combat system. I think is what
Yeah.
people are looking forward to.
I think Final Fantasy 16 was also a PlayStation PS5 exclusive. Is
This
that
looks like a game from like
Xbox 360.
Avexia's like sexy dreams.
Totally.
Oh.
Alexia would have images of this on his Supra.
Yeah.
I think the combat looks really smooth. It reminds me so much of Bayonetta, and I remember playing the Bayonetta games and absolutely loving
Yeah.
how smooth the combat was and how good it felt. I will say, and like certified woman moment, I hate the boys aren't in skimpy little get-ups
Yeah.
either. I want to see everyone is. If girls are going to be wearing a skimpy little get-up,
Let's say, yeah.
Everyone
They
expect
need
the
to be
boys
in
to be
like
wearing
leather
one
tight
too.
vest, but just have the nips cut out, like
Yeah.
wrap
Yeah.
around the back. Go as wild as you did with her outfit as with the guys.
time.
I think this looks fantastic, and I like how much it's throwing out there in the trailer. My concern is that like it has that sort of Final Fantasy vibe of lore in terms of like it has to. This is an original IP. It has to set up a heap of this world, these characters, all that, which is always exciting but also daunting. And I wonder how fatiguing it could be. Like, is this going to be an interesting world that I actually care about, and how quickly can I be whisked away into this weird dystopic kind of desert planet?
I think any fantasy game has to do that, or any fantasy story has to do that. And just based on what I'm seeing here, as long as the world feels like authentically fleshed out in the way it's designed and presented, then I think that's already half your battle. Because when places feel empty or soulless or generic, that's
Or
when it's like,
too
Absolutely.
piecemeal together is my concern. Like, everything looks cool for a trailer here. I really hope that that narrative is there to pull it all together and say, here's the history of what this world is and
Yeah.
why these
Yeah.
people behave the way they do. I do hate it when it's used as a bit of a kind of just like get out of jail free card for like, it's fantasy for fantasy's sake, and there's sci-fi elements, and there's also a dragon, and there's also
Yeah.
lasers and legs, and you're like, okay, now you're just throwing everything at the wall.
I also will say with new IP, sometimes if they think that they're not going to be able to make another game in the series, they do overload with the
everything in it,
story
yeah.
a little too much.
Yeah,
and I
true.
hope that isn't the case. I would, if this game is good, I would love to see another one made, because already this looks like a really cool world. Everybody I think the character design is quite beautiful, and I'm just really keen for it, but I'm also keen to see where they take it and if they decide to overload with a little too much story-wise, because I find that annoying when games do
I
that.
feel like there's a lot of political drama and fantasy that I get very glazed with a lot of the time. Where it's
Totally.
just like, and the war between these two and this city, and to bring to battle, and the council will now deliberate, and I'm like,
I know. And my super shallow take on it, all of that, is that like I can't get into like the Tales games, even though they're like very loved, because they're so the dark story moments are there's purple bad lightning, and it's like there's no depth to the design. It's all just like beautiful comic, and this, because of its world is ugly and stuff, and it's maybe a bit of like growing up on Star Wars of like, that's all lived in, that's all broken, that's all like the Millennium Falcon doesn't work, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And that appeals to me out of this.
which is
game
also
as
what
well.
people love about cyberpunk and cyberpunk style
Yeah.
things, is that it always looks kind of a bit cobbled together. You can
Yeah.
see the sort of generations of technology evolving, and it's a bit dirty, and it's a kind of more realistic picture of what a, sort of dystopic future city would look like. I
Yeah.
think that this
You're right about the
go either way.
gameplay with the Bayonetta, not just the look of a dark-haired, slim protagonist. It's like it has that Platinum Games kind of like combo juggle effect of
flips
everything, which
around.
is at odds with like the calm walking around, and then it's like you slide into a desert and
Yeah.
heel whip everything out there. But that stuff is like objectively fun all the time. It just feels powerful, and so
Yeah.
it's cool. Although I will point out the fact that I'm sitting here about to poke holes in and like the logic and storytelling of the game, knowing what's coming up is another trailer we're going to talk about. So I'm going to eat my words. shortly.
And I think that one's slated for an April release.
Yeah.
I think it got a full release date. It might be the 22nd.
That's soon.
It is really soon, which is very exciting. Love when we know when games are coming out. That's always a big plus.
We don't know the games are coming out until we have them.
That's also a
They
very
could get delayed again.
Yeah. I saw the Pocket League list, and it was a lot of games coming out this year. So
yeah.
Maybe this year. We'll see how we go.
we'll see how we go. Another game that we got to look at was the Silent Hill 2 remake being done by Bloober Team.
Yep.
Is that correct? Which looks all right.
They're good pedigree. They did like Layers of Fear and The Medium, and like they've got their, their grounds in horror games. And Silent Hill 2 is the fan fave. It's the one that I think really made the series what it is. I can't remember if I've played it. Like A Man Walking Through a Fog, I'm like, I've played maybe half of each of
You
one
were
and
the
two.
man in the
when
fog.
did
Yeah.
the original one come
Oh,
out?
like 90. I'm going to say like 90.
I don't think it was that long ago. I thought it was like 2004 ish.
It's gotta
The original?
It's got to be 2000.
Not the original. Sorry, I'm talking
Oh,
2002.
two. Sorry, I'm talking
Yeah,
about Silent Hill 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's much beloved, but I don't know how fun these games are, the Silent Hill ones, more than the Resi games. Like, Resident Evil for me is the one that has the action with it. There's the I don't know. Nothing about Silent Hill has ever jumped out and grabbed me, pun intended. But yeah, this looks like
2001.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like this genre of game, the kind of like third-person action horror game, has become the staple of like AA development, to use the awful term of AA development,
Yeah.
and independent studios making horror games for Twitch streamers and stuff. There's been a million of them over the last like 6 or 7 years, and there's often gold in there. There's been some great games. I mean, Bloober Team are a team that came from that kind of independent horror game development, and to get given that IP is obviously a massive thing. But Silent Hill 2 may feel so dated in its own space now that it doesn't do enough to excite a new audience. But I mean, Resident Evil 4 remake was well received.
My worry is that those were fucking polished. The Resi 2 and 3 remakes were beautifully done.
Yeah.
So well done.
Gorgeous.
Like both in kind of the like updating the game as well as just giving it a new coat of paint. And so I think we're now attuned to think that's what a upgrade remake of a classic third person walk around 90s noughties horror game is. And this does not look as polished as that.
No.
Silent Hill's always been a janky looking series to me, but I don't think that's the point. I just think it unfortunately doesn't have the money that seemed to be behind the Resi series. So there's that, and there was the other Silent Hill
There was Silent Hill,
breakthrough.
the one that we saw in the State of Play.
Yeah.
You mean? I think it was The Short Message.
Short
And that one is literally out right now. It is a 2-hour experience that is about, I think you play as a teenage girl whose friend has taken their own life. And so you, I think, do the same. Trigger warning. Yeah, sorry. I feel
Double
like
trigger
that's
warning,
kind of
yeah.
important. But it looks like they've kind of gone for like a PT type thing. It
Sure.
looks very much like a walking simulator. I will say, when I saw this trailer and saw her skin, and I was like, you know what? They never show imperfect skin of a teenager. I appreciate that. I think that is a minute little detail that I think is really cool, because usually they're just like, oh, teens just fresh-faced and little.
Yeah.
It's like, no, not always. But anyhow, I'm nitpicking. But yeah,
Imagine if the slider on that character that's like old and young, and you always go young because it makes them all nice and smooth. You go young, and it's like, whoa, puberty.
Acne,
And you're like,
yeah.
no, I need to rush forward a little. 30s.
There's the Clearasil era, and then
But it came out like today, right now.
I wonder if this is that same thing where it's like, is there a bigger game here they want to make, or that they're hinting at, or that they're testing the waters of, kind of like PT kind of was? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not confident enough
Just
to
from
say.
what I've seen, I find it very. I think it looks very compelling. It's there's a lot of little things in this trailer that I find really interesting, like the using the phone torch to find your way around. Like,
Yeah.
as somebody who has to do that late at night when I want to go to the toilet, it's a terrifying experience for me. And so, that's true horror to me.
Yeah.
But I think it looks really interesting.
But it's
have you ever thought
free?
about adult nappies?
Often.
Yeah, because then you don't have to get up.
Yeah, but I kind of like the experience of sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, okay.
It's just a personal thing,
Yeah, fair enough.
I was going to ask a serious question and be like, what's the point of that game? It's free, it's out today, and it's not pushing any other Silent Hill products. Like, but let's talk about diapers.
I feel so. From what I saw from the enemy, who seems to be covered in some kind of flour, it tells me it might be connected to the other Silent Hill game that's being
I
made. I
forgot
think
about
Silent.
that.
Is it Silent
Is
Hill
that
F?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
Silent
I
Hill
thought you were talking
F.
about the
Mitch points out in the chat.
Silent
I think
Hill
the games
F.
will lead up to Silent Hill F in a few years. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I totally forgotten about
Which
that
I
one.
thought looked gorgeous.
We all did, yeah. That trailer was
Yeah.
beautiful as well. So yeah, okay, maybe that makes more sense.
And then there was a little bit of Rise of the Ronin, which I haven't been really keeping up to date with, but I will say it once again looks beautiful. And you can kind of say the same thing about a lot of these trailers. They look beautiful, and I think
Yeah.
it's really kind of pushing the fact that the PS5 is a very powerful piece of tech
Yeah.
that can do so
For
much.
a 2-year-old console now.
For a 2-year-old
It's like,
console.
for
Yeah.
God's sakes.
It's still looking gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks sick.
But have you guys kind of been following this one?
This
at
is
all?
Ninja Theory, I think.
This one's a Ninja.
who-
Team
No.
Team Ninja, sorry, Team
Ninja.
Theory is now with
set
Xbox.
in
Yeah, sorry.
war-torn 19th century Japan.
Is it feudal? I love saying feudal
I
Japan.
believe it is feudal Japan.
But isn't it
feudal,
just fun to
yeah.
say?
But
Feudal Japan.
But it's feudal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, then I've been saying it
Because
wrong.
oh my god, that's so funny. Because they're
Feudal,
feuding.
Futile.
They're feuding.
Yeah.
Resistance
Yeah.
is feudal.
I've been saying that. Oh, no. My enemy. He's been getting it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm interested in it because the
Flamethrower's a bit much. I was
Yeah.
I don't remember how they had them in
obviously slightly different time period and
Flame in Japan.
Ghosts of Tsushima was such a strong title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like this is going to inevitably be compared to it.
Yeah.
So I think it's got a lot to do to set itself apart from that.
And yeah,
I think- But I feel like Ghost of Tsushima was a little bit more Assassin's Creedy, and this looks a little bit more action focused
Well, yeah,
in
team-
the
yeah,
way
absolutely.
that you.
It's
Yeah.
Team Ninja are like Ninja Gaiden and Neo. And
Yeah.
so they're about like probably the complex Souls-like combat. That's while there was really good combat stances and all that kind of complexity, I would say this will be where like hardcore fighters / Dark Souls.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there was
man.
even like there was a whole story beat in Ghost of Tsushima that had to like explain why you were
have
being
the-
stealthy as a samurai because you had to be sneaky and stab people in the back, and it's like that's not the samurai way. It's like, yeah, but that's what we're doing in this game. So
And then finally, Death Stranding 2, baby.
Now that's a story.
Kojima's back.
Oh my lord.
Baby.
And it's all about Death Stranding 2, as well as that other thing that he's making. But we won't talk about that. Sam is back. What's his full name?
Sam Porter Bridges.
That's
And you
right.
can say baby at the end because he's got a little baby, but baby dead. But maybe not dead.
No, baby, not the.
But baby.
Spoilers, I haven't played the first game.
No, that was trailer. The
Oh.
first
He
trailer was like,
never
oh,
will.
the baby's all,
Yes,
the little
yeah.
things all covered in.
Hey, there's our boy.
There's our boy.
There's our boy, the director of Babe 2, Pig in the City, George Miller, is featured in Death Stranding 2. How exciting.
So it's just his,
Yeah.
it's what they did with Guillermo del Toro. It's just his likeness, and it's a new, like you hear at the end, this Australian voice that's definitely not his. But yeah, quick little humble brag that we've said 100 times that Peter and I interviewed George Miller for the first Death Stranding.
Yeah.
wait, it's not his voice?
No. And neither was Guillermo del Toro's. They got
wasn't?
different voice actors in
Yeah.
to cover them. They just
got
did
blind-
likenesses.
Yeah. They did a
'Cause there's
scan when they
like-
popped into
Sorry,
town.
they're
one
not
time.
going to make them sit down and do the fucking 30 hours of voice that like Kojima asks of
I
them.
guess
like,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
yeah, and
But that's so funny that they would use.
no, it's not. It's
Yeah, why wouldn't
it's
you just-
bloody Kojima having his like fanning out over how I can integrate.
Those are George Miller's glasses.
They are
though.
them.
That's not science
Yeah.
fiction.
That's so
That's
funny.
what he wears.
So
Because,
does
yeah,
George
he-
Miller have to sign off on every instance of himself in the game and be like, "This is okay"? That's so
I'm sure he signed off
interesting.
once and said, "Then I'll look at it."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's now like credited in the game because Kojima loves putting in famous faces and people that he admires, and he has a massive adoration for George Miller for Mad Max and games like that. So yeah, we watch this bit. The spaceship comes out of his mouth. The trailer is batshit crazy, as it should be. I loved the first game. This trailer did exactly what it needed to, which is just make everything confusing.
He's blue like me.
They both, yeah. Like,
Yeah, I was kind of confused at first. I was like, why are they blue?
Are they
the
like-
whole trailer is
they
questions.
hologrammy?
That's
Yeah.
the point. And if you remember watching the first Death Stranding trailer on the beach, the baby, everything for the first time, you're like, okay, this needs to be answered. I played the game. I still don't have those answers, but I remember enjoying the experience. The coolest thing,
Nick.
the coolest thing is those hands.
hand
So they're
mask
like,
is
Steph, they're like an
awesome.
accessory that like are the like animatomic, whatever they are. So like when she's talking, they'll like gesture. So occasionally she'll say like, shh, keep it quiet, and the thing will come up and do that. When she's doing medical work, they clasp over her mouth like that. When she lights a cigarette, it goes and lights the little thing for her. So in terms of design and like
That's
weird
it, isn't
world
it?
building, I just love
It's like
it.
the Vegemite chocolate at the shops. You're like, I don't know if this works, but like I'm too curious not to check it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I'm so
Like
impressed.
I would buy this and play it just to for the wackiness alone.
Yeah.
And see
The-
what he's come up with.
The one thing that stood out to me gameplay wise in the trailer is that right at the start, she takes, so Lea Seydoux character takes him for a tour of the area. Also, there's a little, what is it? Is a little little
the
ventriloquist
puppet?
puppet that
I love
talks, that
him.
moves at a slower frame rate, that
I love him
asks to
so
come
much.
along. And
What
so,
the fuck is that?
so that becomes a talking companion
that's
you
Alan
take with
Wake.
you.
This is so surrealist
It's so strange.
and strange.
The gameplay thing was the fact that she walks you past an armory and says, hey, here's where all the guns are if you need these. The first game famously did not have or had
Yeah.
very little combat, let alone anything with a weapon. Kojima came out. It was like a Strand game is not about combat and shooting.
Yeah.
There was a gun you could get later on, but if you
It's
killed
about
someone,
carrying packages over long distances.
There it is.
And trying to make the tallest tower in your backpack
because
as
if
possible.
I remember correctly, if you die in the new Death Stranding world, if a character dies, they'd explode into an A-bomb or something. So it's like if you killed someone, dead bodies explode, or that's what caused all the chaos. So
Yeah.
you could never kill anyone; you could only incapacitate. I'm gonna get that wrong.
Is the gameplay, like, from what we can see, functionally still the same, though?
I mean, there's huge open spaces and there's him traversing, which again,
And the like Death Stranding like goopy stuff.
there's a little bit where he's
stuff.
creeping in the little on the shoulders, doing all of that. So I
Yeah,
think
okay.
the core gameplay is still there.
They
but
should have made it the puppet.
the little puppet. He probably does.
hate
But there is some gunplay in this trailer, and you're killing robots. There seems to be some thing on your shoulder. There seems to be some full atomically correct versions of those that obviously they've gone. I don't know. I love that the first game didn't have any combat.
Yeah.
They've clearly gone the sequel.
I
just
loved it
has
too.
to.
I think I just got about halfway through it, and I was like, I don't know how many more packages I can carry. Like, I think I just.
It's so strange how much I adore that arduous task of going, I have to get from here all the way over there.
Yeah.
And I will give it credit. The Kojima name is in the fact that I know that when I get there, I'm going to be rewarded with something weird. Like, I'm not going
Yeah.
to get there and it's just going to be progress and maybe an end cutscene. It's going to be the weirdest cutscene I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued.
And I will say too that like the feeling of like desperate frustration when I like stacked it because I built my tower too high and all of my packages like fell and then got damaged, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get any money for this. And then I'm like, if I could go back, but I may as well just go forward now and just cancel the job.
They're weird. They're feelings you don't get in video games.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
last
yeah,
thing I'll say.
yeah.
It's going, I have to get all the way over there, and there's no cheat. There's no fast travel. There's nothing I can do to make this any easier than the game is making me do.
Just a sign in the barren wasteland of someone saying, I left a rope here.
Kojima's just one of the rare few that appreciates the trials and tribulations of the average mailman.
That's it. I saw the first comment was like, the best pizza man returns. And like everyone I think is happy to have fun with how
Joker's
weird this
here.
is. Yeah, Troy Baker has the character that I can't even remember if he was the antagonist of the last game, if it's the same one. He's got Joker makeup and electric guitar,
Of this fine factory
and he's all very animated. It's wild.
That's
it's all
the
wild.
Miller effect.
Yeah, who knows? But I'm stoked. I can't wait. Is it 2025?
2025.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
But
yeah,
like
I mean,
like a long walk. It's just I have to wait.
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
wait.
And I'll meet you there on the beach.
I blew myself.
And there were plenty more things there in the state of play. I would
That's all we
love
cared
to
about.
talk about Sonic and Shadow Generations.
Not gonna
but
happen.
We do not have the time on this show. So we're going to move on to what we've been playing this week.
Yeah. What we've been playing. The point of the show where we like to talk about the games that we've been playing for this week.
What is the point of this show?
I distracted
You
you.
distracted me.
Your brain whirred back online
You're like,
with noise coming up. Welcome back to the show.
No, I was trying to find that. I've got a little something because what we've been playing is sponsored by Nigrotex.
Welcome back.
Hey, Nigrotex, beloved patron of the show. Lucky to have you.
We love you.
And beloved leader of the Pocket Pals.
Yep.
I have a tweet from Nigrotex
Hit us up.
that I think like encapsulates something that we all feel a little bit.
Warm.
He says, "Man, I wish meetings had podcast controls, especially the ability to cut out silence, speed people up to 1.5 times, and just skip the episode altogether."
It's true.
My cousin was telling me that she uses ChatGPT to summarize all of her work meetings, reduce it down to the finer points that were like stated, analyze the tone of everyone's like delivery,
Holy shit.
and analyze her own tone to like tell her if she came across in the way that she wanted to.
So is it transcribed?
That's obsessive.
She has it auto-transcribed and then feeds that into ChatGPT.
No,
Wow.
it does it all. It does the transcribe.
It just
as well.
listens.
Yep.
It's called in.
What?
I think that's the subscription version.
Holy hell, that's crazy. I mean, the dot
Isn't
point
that
bit
crazy?
I really appreciate.
Yeah,
Like
that's good.
going, hey, just sum this up. What was the tone?
Minutes. I don't
Yeah,
want to
with the
know how
minutes.
everyone sounded.
Yeah. Today,
Reduce it to data.
Gavin
I
was a
guess
bit bitchy.
Sometimes if you get overwhelmed with a lot of information and then you kind of focus in on one thing or whatever, and then
Yeah.
it kind of goes, Peter sounded particularly urgent about this specific topic. Maybe that kind of brings it back to the forefront of your mind and be like, that should be my priority.
Yeah. And if it reduced, like, without putting the tone next to it, and it was like, someone said that was a riot, you're like, do they mean it was fun, or was there an actual riot?
I don't think we get things that wrong. I like the idea of the podcast controls for the meetings because now I'm picturing meetings as podcasts where they're like, yeah, that because Q4 was pretty scratchy. And if things are scratchy, head to Manscaped. Manscaped sponsored this meeting. And there'll be like those podcast ads dropped between all of them. A bit of NordVPN, a bit of HelloFresh in
Yeah.
your meetings. No one needs that. Is
Yeah.
Is your sleep cycle being disrupted?
that what you get?
You need a heavy mattress from Mattress Factory.
I get the mattresses that you plug in that pump water into them to cool you down. Have you heard of those?
No, waterbeds are back, baby.
No. They're just like
Like liquid cooling for a mattress?
yeah. It's a
kinda cool.
huge
What?
tank that you fill up next to your bed, and it can
That's what I was
heat
talking
and
about
cool
with
your
the
bed.
nappies as well. It's
Yeah.
liquid cooling.
And so, like, if it
It's called
leaks-
8 Sleep, and Nitrotex is
I'm
about to get one. Holy shit! Okay.
Full
I think
circle,
from
full
memory,
circle.
All right, tweet about it, and we'll talk about it next week on the show.
it heats up as well. It heats and cools.
Oh
Yeah,
my lord!
Oh.
Nice. Can you get RGB?
probably.
I think it's a big unit. It's like having a big PC next to your bed that runs it all through hoses and everything like that. But it's wild. Apparently, it's huge in the
Does
States.
it have hide piss the bed option where like you can
What
make
if-
it
yeah.
leak
Spring a
and so,
leak.
spring a leak? So
Yeah.
if you do piss the bed, it'll just be water, and then you'll be like, it wasn't me, it was the bed.
Yeah,
Yes,
that could be a new feature.
finally. About time.
About damn
Us
time.
bed pissers
Let's
need
talk
some
about
goddamn
some
respect.
games. Anyway, thank you, Nitrotex.
I was like, what is this? What is this?
I forgot the statement.
Yeah. It's the point of the show where we talk about games. Can you please start us off with Pal World?
So I've played a little bit of Power Worlds.
But you were excited for this. Sorry, we need to set
I
you
want
up
to
with.
start by saying that in a way I was excited for this game. I was excited for this game because it looked stupid.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was real. I honestly thought it was going to be a situation. Thank you.
First one for the year, everyone.
Chalk it up.
I honestly thought it was going to be a situation where this game never came out because it wasn't real. And then it turns out that it did. And it's
It did seem like it could be one of those scam games.
yeah, it really seemed like it was going to be fake, but it's an action adventure, monster taming, survival game where you make your own character at the start and you're kind of just left to your own devices in this world full of pals. And the pals are the Pokemon. And it's Pokemon. It's Pokemon with guns. I haven't gotten to the point where I get guns yet, and I honestly don't know if I care to. I can see where people would love this game, and you know what? It's quite polished for early access. People are having a lot of fun with it. It looks quite good for being made by a smaller team. It's not clicking for me. Like,
Do you? Are there other survival games that are like it that you enjoy?
no.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like other survival. It's like any other. It's like many other games because
Yeah,
it's
okay.
many other games put into one.
Because I haven't played it, but to me, visually and conceptually, it just did not appeal to me at all. And I play a lot of survival games, so mechanics and functionally, I would theoretically enjoy it. I just every time I look at it, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's been doing incredibly well. I think 8 million copies sold, and people are really liking it. It's one of the most popular games on
Third
Twitch.
highest selling game on Steam, I think, of all time.
It's
I think it's
crazy.
the second most concurrent
I've
player.
seen,
Second
I've
most
seen a
concerned
fair
about
bit
it
of
as well.
hubbub over stolen character.
yeah. So it's
Or
people have been comparing the mesh of Pokemon models
Yeah.
and Power World models, and it seems there are a lot of connections being made. But I mean, the thing is, I feel like it can get away as being parody,
and as well,
'cause it
like
is.
Pokemon, a lot of them are designed, and I'm a heavy critic of the more recent Pokemon iterations where things are just cats. Things are just like there's
Yeah.
there's
not enough weird little guys.
there are birds that just look like birds now. So
Yeah.
it's like they're just obviously they've all been based on animals since the first generation of Pokemon. But things like that Firefox, you go like, oh yeah, that's a Vulpix.
Yeah.
Like there is an immediate one-to-one visual connection to a Pokemon, but they're visually distinct enough that I don't think Nintendo's got
No,
or Pokemon
I
company's
really
got a
don't
leg to
think they're
stand on.
gonna go for them.
Really, because it's no different to Digimon.
Sure, yeah.
Well, when you say they have a leg to stand on, they have a lot of like financial backing of a leg to stand on. Like there is a threat of what they could do litigiously to kind of like force out a small dev who's made a lot of money quickly. Like there could be continually ongoing lawsuits that keep
Yeah.
pecking away at kind of what success they have built here. Just my 2 cents on the design of the creatures that I find, and I've heard this echoed in some podcasts talking about it recently, is how frustrated I am to see, as someone who likes creative things and being creative, like the idea of getting to create all your pals. Obviously, I think they've designed it in a way that people feel a similarity to Pokemon, so there's an affection or an affinity towards them. When I'm
Yeah.
like, it just feels lazy. Like, you're making a game, and if you've got a couple of designers, and I think the lead designer has come out and been like, I was under the pump, guys. I had to make a lot of shit very quickly, and we did what we could. But it feels like a missed opportunity to create your own version of all sorts of things. Like,
That
Yeah.
being said, I have come across a lot of the pals and been like, oh,
Yeah, the planet
they're
was
really, really
Yeah,
cute.
I
I will
will
say.
I feel like there's like totally a thing where, and the reason why it's successful is the reason that this exists is that they want people to have that nostalgic thing of like,
Yeah.
oh, this is something that I recognize or
Yeah.
is close enough to it, and in a setting that I haven't experienced it before, and I feel like they would be trading off that, right?
the other thing that feels about that adds to the kind of stolen narrative, whether or not how true it is the kind of the clashing of art styles of that like rounded flat design of the
Yeah,
pals
yeah.
and this sort of pretty accurate or like pretty ultra realistic lighting and grass, and you know it's things people have wanted in the Pokemon games, and the more recent ones are trying to do that.
They
or
are more
Arceus
3D
and
open,
stuff,
yeah.
where they're
Yeah.
like, hey, it's kind of real, but the fact that the characters just look so bubble made, like untextured kind of flat
yeah.
cartoon characters in this
Particularly
world,
this
even the
animation,
Avatar.
This looks
Yeah.
like Fortnite to me.
It's
It's
a-
like
Well,
a
yeah,
Fortnite
I mean, it's
character
art,
in a fantasy world.
It feels like a mishmash of so many different things. But, and you know, like, people are very divided on this game. I am kind of keen to give it more of a go because I want to see if I get to a point
If it
where
does get
I
its hooks
do
into
start to really enjoy it and get invested. Like, what gets me is maybe it's just because I'm too soft, but like I see these pals, I'm like, oh, you're really cute. I don't want to put you in a sweatshop. and that seems to be what a lot of people do. You know,
or beat the shit out of them to catch them.
you
don't
gotta
you?
you gotta hit him
Hit
to
him
with a
club.
you gotta hit him with a club to catch him. And it makes me feel I keep feeling really bad in this game. Like it's
I've,
making me feel bad.
Yeah, I've played a big session of this. I don't know that I'll play anymore. I like survival games, and this one's really interesting because it has so many types of mechanics in it that it's poached from other games. Like there's,
Absolutely.
I don't think I've done anything in this game where I've been like, oh, that is like super unique to this because it feels so Pokemon. I mean, anyone who's trying to defend this and say it's nothing like Pokemon, like obviously it's like Pokemon. You build Pal balls and throw them at the Pal things
Yeah,
to
yeah.
catch the Palcomon.
Pal spheres.
Pal spheres, yeah. But one of the more interesting things is that, you know, in a survival game, part of what is tedious about them is collecting materials. It's also part of what makes those games work is that you get the reward for the time you invest in collecting those materials. But when you catch pals, you can take them back to base and assign them tasks in your hub. And they'll have proficiencies in things. So you'll capture something that's good at collecting lumber, and it will you can just put it onto a lumber post and it will collect lumber for you. And so you can automate a lot of stuff, which is an interesting part of the sim of this. And then when you're out in the 3D action world, there's a bit of Legend of Zelda. Like you're climbing with a stamina bar and you're putting points, like an RPG style system, points into your health and your stamina. And
You touched on the thing in survival games that's satisfying. That is that like it's a slow burn, but it does feel good. Automation is something that they haven't had a lot of in survival games, but Sons of the Forest recently had that guy
The guy,
who you
Brad
could send
or
to
whatever
do
his name
stuff.
was, yeah.
And I feel like
Kelvin?
it's
Maybe it's healthy.
maybe his name
Yeah.
changes.
He's got
Yeah,
brain damage?
but
Yeah.
I think it's an also as addictive element of gaming to go like setting up automation feels good, survival and resource collecting feels good. Marry those together, and the Pokemon thing is irrelevant to that. I think that is just in itself why people are finding it so moreish, and they're like, I just like setting this up and making my base run itself.
Yeah, to me, it has the same hooks as most of the survival games that I've enjoyed. And for me, I don't spend a lot of time in survival games because ultimately I feel like they're a massive waste of my life because you spend hours and hours and hours and then you make a log cabin and you're like, this is beautiful. And you're like, well,
But it's
I'm
it's
logging
the friends
forever.
you made along the way, Peter.
Totally, and it is about joint experience, and I played this with a couple of friends, so I played way longer than I would have had I been by myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I can't in my head live in this PAL world. It's just
It feels a
it's
little
just
too just disjointed.
it's disjointed.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
ugly. It
Can
feels
I
like
say aesthetically, it's dog shit. I
It's,
hate everything about what I'm seeing in every element of
Yeah,
that game.
it's like-
I know the team worked hard on it, but I'm saying it has no holistic look or view. It
totally.
makes me feel yuck.
It just feels like all the worst things of the internet
I
created
feel
a
so
video,
validated.
created a video game.
I thought you guys really
It just
enjoyed
ta-
it,
it's
and
ta-
I just
it's
have
just
not
so-
touched it because I'm like,
I don't know.
so
It just
doesn't
feels
appeal to me.
soulless. You know, it
I
just
think
feels
another
awful.
thing for me, I feel like there's no point to what I'm doing in the game.
That's survival games.
That's
But yeah, that's the thing. And,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just because, survival
It's-
games
yeah.
aren't for me. Maybe it'd be better if I played with other
I
people.
was about to say,
but
I reckon it's totally about having a little crew.
yeah.
Because to me,
I think a big part
to me,
of it's
survival
having a
games
crew.
is half chance and hang times while you're kind of doing menial
Yeah.
tasks. But then it's also like interior design and like making the coziest Herga space.
Yeah.
And there is that thing of sometimes forgetting what your goal is. That can be kind of a fun thing in survival games, going like, okay, what am I doing now? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that sometimes, going like, I guess I need to do this to
and,
this
and
this
this
to
does that really well. Like,
Sure.
I don't begrudge anyone who's enjoying it. Obviously, there are lots of people who are unironically enjoying it. I think there are a lot of people who are ironically enjoying it because it felt like a meme.
Yeah.
But every time you get something new in the game, and it happens quite frequently early on, it does feel like, like you build a leather harness to hold the Vulpix, which becomes a flamethrower, and you're like,
right. I can put
and like
this-
that gives you another 5 minutes of game to get to the next
yeah.
5 minutes of
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So it's reasonably well paced, at least in the early session. I've done one kind of like 4-hour session. So
Hi.
I'll give
hello,
it another try,
Joe.
but ultimately, if it keeps making me feel bad,
yeah.
I don't think I'm going to play it anymore.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And also, we should point out that apparently the Game Pass version for PC and Xbox is running far poorer than the PC version, or the Steam version.
It's limited. It is it's an older build.
Sure.
This is obviously still early access even on Steam. But it's an older build, and the Steam build has dedicated servers where the Xbox version is peer to peer, so it's I think 4 players maximum on the Game Pass build.
Right.
And the Steam version I think is like 24 or something. It's a bigger server, so there's more life to the world,
point,
which
yeah.
could add a lot of interest. And I played the Game Pass version, so yeah, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, totally.
Unless it's a pass.
32, yeah. That's good.
Not for me. The end.
Fair enough.
The end.
Cool.
Nice. Who's next? Peter. I know we go through this, but then I forget.
It's the
It was
part
so
of the show.
It was so polite. It was like, who's next? And Peter just was like,
I'll
Peter's
go.
next.
I'll go.
It's the point of the show.
Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Gus and I talked about, we got hands on an early demo at
you
the
have
end of last year.
Smashed this.
And
Yeah.
the full game came out as like the first big game release of the year. Interesting of Ubisoft to jump in so early with a title like this, but it is a 2.5D action side scroller in a Metroidvania style, and it's all about the exploration of the world. But with a big focus in this game on the combat being something that you become more proficient at in your skill set and learn more movement for platforming that becomes an integral part of the combat as well. So it becomes quite a deep combat system and quite an interesting platformer the further you go. And there's a really nice kind of pace of how they feed all that to you.
You had a rare 3 a.m. night where I was like, what is he doing? He's not still playing Halo.
I can't hear him yelling anymore.
I can tell what game you're playing based on the tone of your voice when you're talking to people.
Yeah.
And this was just like
Silence.
occasional
No tone at all.
sounds of frustration or like, where is the what? Oh,
It is, I think, it's very early days, but on both of our Game of the Year lists.
Yeah, I mean, it is literally the earliest of days.
It is
M1
it
of
is our
this.
Game of the Year at the moment because
Yeah.
there's nothing to put it next to, but it is brilliant. Anyone who's got any passing interest in 2D platformers has to give this a go.
Your Ori's, your not Silk,
Metroid.
Hollow Knights.
Hollow Knights,
Yep.
Ori's, all that kind of stuff. Metroid Dread, if you like or have dabbled in those games and like it, this is really polished version of a lot of what those games do really well.
Yep.
But I would also say from a bit more of an approachable standpoint, it has a big difficulty
Scalability.
arc over the whole game,
Yeah.
but it really is a nice walk there. I think it does a really good job of opening up the skills and also just your confidence in the movement and the platforming. There's obviously it's Prince of Persia, so it's all about traps and tight platforming to get through spike pits and swinging blades and all that kind of stuff, which I just adore.
And time manipulation and space manipulation.
Maybe
in a little
space is-
there's yes, absolutely. It's more about manipulating the space and yourself in the space.
There
are
less-
some puzzles that have timed elements to them that time resets, and there are some combats like boss fights that have some time manipulation in them. It is not Sands of Time. You don't control time as this character, Sargon, not the Prince of Persia. But I would say the thing that I was least interested in this was the story, and it was actually compelling.
Agree to disagree.
I thought, when I went into it, I was like, I don't care if the story's good because the game is good.
Yeah.
And then as I was playing through the game, I was like, oh, I like
pleasantly
this
surprised.
story.
Total
It's like,
opposite. I love the Prince of Persia setting and lore and everything, and I was like, this is gonna be great. And by the end of it, it's like, I hate all these characters.
it's Saturday morning cartoon
yeah.
depth. It's
sure.
not
Yeah.
brilliant. No one's going to be putting it in writing of the year or story of the year, but it has enough and it is well presented.
It
The story, I think,
thinks
the
its
direction
story
of it
is a
good.
little bit more important than I think it
I
deserves
don't think
to be.
it doesn't take itself seriously though. It's
I
like it
disagree.
leans
I think
into
the
its
way
anime.
the characters get into the lore and the twists and the characters that go, that there's betrayal and there's alliances and there's people who emerge and there's reveals and all that. And I was like, by the third time they did that, maybe like, I don't know, 8 hours into the game, I checked out and I was like, none of this
Did
is
you
really
find that
landing.
it tended to repeat itself a bit? Or?
No, it's just like it's not surprising.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just and again, that's why I kind of feel like, to me, it felt like watching Saturday morning cartoons. It felt like a Dragon Ball Z arc. It was like it was obvious that person was going to be the bad person.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be surprised. But I think the way that it paces its story, it gives you those narrative beats as kind of just incentive to keep moving. I
Yeah.
found that really good. Like I find that even as much as I love Ori never incentivizes progression through its narrative. It's just beautiful, and there's a big turtle.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
We were on different. We were
Like
on
the-
odds. The motivation in Ori was so real for me. It was like this character.
there's an owl.
No, it's not just an owl. We're not getting into this. Fuck.
But he's right in that you have to sustain that thing that you see right at the start, pretty much through like most of the game. You
But
don't
there's-
get much through.
You
throughout.
literally are like
That's
that,
what I'm saying,
that
there
little
is-
feather of that creature.
Totally,
you want.
and
That's
that's
Ori too.
look.
But
I think
anyway,
that is
yeah.
that.
You're
we're
dead
spending
inside. It's fine.
No, I'm not, listen, you are. No, you can't.
I cared for the baby owl.
You hate story. I didn't say I don't enjoy Ori. Ori is definitely a more deft but subtle storytelling. This tells a story. Ori doesn't tell a story. It lets you discover a story. This tells you a story. It's a cartoon.
Yuck.
You're not allowed to talk anymore.
Wow.
The
Wow.
combat is good, like challenging. I probably felt like you there's a number of ways that you increase your power as you play the game.
Yeah.
And it's by being given powers, so movement abilities, learning new combos and stuff.
Ultra attack kind of things that you can choose to switch in and out. That kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Ultra attacks.
You have bracelet or a necklace that
yeah,
has,
necklace with
that has
amulets.
amulets on it, and the amulets are basically you've got slots for them. Some take up more slots. They're basically stat buffs, so you can choose how to play the game based on kind of what you choose to buff as well, and then you can improve those as well. So there's heaps of ways to make the base game kind of more attuned to your playstyle, and then there is a really in-depth difficulty like slider.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's there is accessibility options, but in terms of its difficulty, it has like decimal point sliders for the parry window of opportunity.
Yeah.
How much damage you take, how much damage you give.
That's
Health of
awesome.
enemies.
Yeah.
So you can pick a difficulty setting, and then you can really fine tune it so it feels like it's challenging but still fun.
Yeah.
And how would you say the combat system is to, kind of master?
Like how hard is it to master?
How hard? How
It's
easy?
not. It's not particularly because it's spammy. Like it's
Spammy?
just it's
Is it
X
com-
X
it's
X
just
Y.
combo
Yeah,
based?
it's
Yeah.
combo
Well,
based kind of stuff.
yeah,
but
it's mashy, but I wouldn't say spammy in the sense that it's not like you can't just like you will need to. You can do it a lot better by like juggling enemies and like parrying and
Yeah.
finding little areas.
I would
sneak
say
past.
because of the depth of it, you will learn a couple of tricks that you will reuse a lot.
Yeah.
And then you might encounter an enemy that you're like, oh, my usual tricks aren't working. I'm going to learn a new trick to how to fight this enemy. So,
Wanted to ask quickly how you found the boss battles and if you had to do what I did, which is I usually with these games, Metroid Dread, for example, and even Ori, I never stopped to grind, to upgrade. I continued my whole way unhindered. And I think I play all these games on a medium. I don't go easy, don't go hard, but I really love the boss fights, but I turned it down to easy for the last two because I was frustrated and I was like, I'm done with boss fights. I just want to I found them really over the top, and I did have to stop maybe for like an hour or two in the middle of the game and just go back and kill a couple of enemies again and again and again to farm a currency to upgrade my abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I loved that it made me go, slow down, you are charging ahead, you can't do this. Did
Yeah.
you run into the same thing? Or
I don't know that I did, but I definitely felt like I was. There's a bunch of ways to get the currency, and exploring will mean you find gems in hidden areas, and you can find the sands of time, and there's a mural room, and it pumps a bunch of like gold at you basically for finding that stuff along the way. I was like sure when I finished the game I would have 95% completion, and it was 68.
yeah, I was 50 or 48 or something.
So,
I
but-
didn't find the mural till after the final boss. I came back and I was
Yeah,
like, what the fuck? Yeah, so maybe I missed some
But
You were saying that 3 a.m. night you were like trying to get more completion, and then you spent 4 hours doing something and it increased by like 2% or something.
that was after I'd beat the final boss, and I was
Yeah.
like, I guess I'm done with the game. I was like, I'll do one little run because I know a couple of things, and I was like, yeah, I did like 4%. I was doing 1% an hour basically,
Good grief.
and it's just like finding because I'm just trying to find little
Yeah.
secret areas.
Yeah,
They're not
sure.
revealed to you on the map. So
the
it was-
boss battles?
boss battles I really liked. I thought they were all distinct. They're definitely standout ones. We won't talk about them in detail, but yeah, they definitely challenge you. I probably felt like I was ultimately exploring a little bit too much for the mediums, the normal difficulty setting.
Sure.
Because I felt like we were talking about how like the hard bosses, I probably spent 3 or 4 turns on before I got them, and you were more in the kind of like 8 to 12
Yeah.
kind of range.
You're a boss
which
freak,
I
though. You like Dark Souls. You have a weird patience for bosses that like.
I definitely
It's a
have-
compliment. You are good at boss fights better than I am.
I definitely like have learned a lot of patience from playing a lot of Souls. So I approached boss fights in the same way. It's like it doesn't matter if this boss fight goes for 15 minutes because as long as I'm dodging attacks, it can go for that long. But yeah, I felt like once I finished the game, I was like, I probably should have tweaked it up a little bit.
Sure.
I don't know that like a full jump, but just so that I was like punishing myself a little more.
Yeah.
Because the game tries to be that. It tries to be, hey, we're challenging, we're going to punish you a little bit. But I think just because I'd put enough credit into upgrading the things that I was using proficiently already, I ended up a little bit overpowered for that playthrough. But
'Cause
It's hard to find that balance though too, because you're like, I do want to finish.
and I didn't
this.
want to take that power away from myself.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, see that's what I got with the last boss, which not describing any of it as spoiler, it just kind of cheeses you like crazy, which I'd enjoyed previously because I love running into a head meet brick wall moment and going, well, this is fucked. I can't finish this game. And then having the patience to come back and actually doing it is the real joy in a difficult boss fight. And there's two of them in particular that I really found were a great challenge in this. So yeah, I just really loved it.
Nice. Awesome.
It's beautiful.
Wicked. I'll go next. I played a survival game as well. I played Enshrouded. Came out around the same time-ish as Pal World, so kind of big competition. It's by a German indie developer called Keen Games, survival action RPG. It's kind of the sort of setup of it is a sort of Fallout
Welcome
style
back.
scenario. Yeah, sorry.
No, you
No,
don't.
that's
No.
That's them again.
That's my bad.
You don't need to.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Twice though? Twice though?
Don't punish yourself.
Everybody has
So I'll
those
talk about it in
days.
the post. There is a reason.
What have I forgotten?
So if I cut,
It's me in every conversation ever. It's sort of a bit of a Fallout style setting where humans in their greed became obsessed with a magical elixir that they wanted to kind of use to increase their power and kind of destroy the planet in the process. And so as a last ditch attempt to save humanity, they sort of created this race of humans, more resilient humans called the Flameborn, and put them in these shelter capsule things to survive the sort of cataclysmic event that I assume occurred. We don't have all the information. And so we as Flameborn sort of wake up in this new world and have to go forth and make our way. It feels... the game looks beautiful. It's very kind of Valheim-esque, I suppose, in the way it sort of presents itself. Although I would say it feels a little bit more generic fantasy in its art style, even though it's beautiful and it's kind of higher res, than Valheim, and you have a lot of draw distance and different textures and stuff like that. It does feel, maybe sort of skip a little bit forward, Josh, please. It kind of feels maybe a little bit like it doesn't have its own personality. In saying that, I would say it's a very approachable survival game. And part of what I think we're sort of talking about survival games being what makes them enjoyable is that they're quite difficult in the early game and you have to sort of get a lot of resources to just survive the first night. This game gives you a lot very quickly.
Sure.
I think that's part of why they make you this race of humans that are sort of quite powerful.
right?
Within the first kind of hour, you have a wingsuit. And you're like gliding around
The
the map.
classic Red Bull fantasy.
Yeah, you're kind of base jumping and stuff like that. It is not a procedurally generated world. It's all, crafted. And there's sort of story elements that are placed throughout. The enemies in the world are kind of mutations from whatever the cataclysmic event that happened from this elixir. And the enshrouded term comes from areas of the map that are enshrouded, and they're kind of this kind of fungusy, misty kind of area where there's a lot of enemies that spawn and stuff.
Oh.
And you have and you kind of take a damage buff when you're in there and stuff. So when you go into the shroud, you get high reward, but it's dangerous and you can only be in there for a maximum of 6 minutes.
Oh, I'm so glad. I just thought it was a pretentious title that had nothing. It was just, Forsaken for
yeah,
something,
no.
Enshrouded. I'm like, so it's actually part of the world and
you
there's
go
a
in
mechanic.
Enshrouded.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
okay. I give it
You
more
get a
points
lot
than
of
I was-
you get a lot of really cool weapons and different things really early. You get like magic staves and
GoPro.
yeah, GoPro on your wingsuit. Magic staffs and wands and different types of, magical ammunition, a whole range of different weapons. There's a lot of existing settlements that have been created by these mutated creatures, as well as former structures from the time before that kind of are part of the story beats and stuff that you go to investigate and stuff. There's also big world bosses and stuff that you go and fight as well.
You're playing this is multiplayer. You're playing, or like can be, but that's the best way to play.
Yeah, I play a lot of survival games with my sort of little crew.
Yep.
We played a lot of Ark, we played a lot of Valheim, we played a lot of different survival games. And at first I was like, I don't know if survival games kind of come into my life at certain times when I'm ready for them, because they usually consume a huge chunk of my life when I'm in it. And I wasn't sure that I was ready for this. And after one session, I logged off and I was like, yeah, that was good. I don't know if I don't know if I'll go back to it. And then within a day, I was immediately thinking about my half-finished build, and I could not wait to get back into it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Speaking of 3 a.m. sessions,
Yeah, it's
You-
really hard to stop.
The bit you said to skip at the start, I agree.
That's just kind of where you begin.
Totally, but it was a tutorial. There does seem to be like some form of terraforming or world. Like you can, by the looks of it,
It says here, use
mine,
terraforming to-
break, cut
Yeah.
through. Like it looked quite detailed compared to a lot of those survival games that are just like I mean, you did Mines of Moria, the Moria game that had a bit of that, but this looked really in depth. Is it that complex? Like, can you really dig straight down?
You can, yeah. It's like Minecraft in that way.
Yeah, cool.
So it's like
nice.
it gives you a lot of tools that survival games don't normally give you, and it almost feels a bit like, oh, you can really do this, because survival games typically put a lot of limitations on you to kind of give you that
Give you a
slow
challenge,
and give
yeah.
you that slow progression, and everything feels
Totally.
learned. But this just has so much in it, and so it gives you a lot really early. And the ability to terraform, we were kind of figuring, we were just starting to get the scope of how we could use that. So, you know, I'm building a typical, fantasy cabin as I always am, which I really enjoy. Reese has been tunneling
Fantasy
under.
cabin is such a weird. Usually someone says a castle.
Well, no,
or
you'd
whatever.
appreciate this, I
Bit of a
think. And
it's
fantasy
the
cabin,
enshrouded.
really.
You'd appreciate this, I think. In a very grand designs way, I've utilized the existing structure, the heritage structure,
Yeah,
and I've
excellent.
built onto it like an annex that, in a way that I feel like complements the original design,
Steph.
while adding a modern touch.
Stephanie, have you gone over budget?
Look, I have gone over budget, yes, yes, but I really feel committed to the process now, and I'm going to see it through.
Fair enough.
But meanwhile, Reese has been tunneling underneath, and he built this whole kind of like tavern underneath, but then just
Your
kept.
whole cabin's gonna just collapse into a sinkhole or something.
Yeah. Then he kept tunneling.
You're
and,
in the
and
bathtub.
Found some weird mushroom shroud mine, and then we started realizing that when we went to kind of different enemy camps and stuff like that, there's a world in which, like, because some of the enemies are quite tough depending on the areas that we go to, further out, because, as you level progress, you travel further.
Sure.
We could potentially tunnel underneath the enemy camp and either skip it altogether or tunnel and then create a big giant pit, and then like,
Pit spike it.
yeah, and then create a hole in the top and then like force the ball in.
Jesus.
Do you know what I mean? Like we
That's
started
cool.
thinking about all these different ways that we could utilize the terraforming.
Can I ask
in
a
the enemy
really
camps and
boring
stuff?
question about the terraforming or the mining? The fact that like Minecraft has that thing where it's like if you mine an area, things just float. Is there something in this where it's like if you mined an area around, does it crumble inwards or like can
No,
it get?
there's a bit of floating stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's
because I
just
always love that in games. It's like, you can do all this, and then it's sort of like it's world breaking if they don't allow that to happen. Otherwise, you can completely carve off an edge of a cliff.
It
or
would just
something.
everything kind of collapses
Yeah,
in on
yeah,
itself.
yeah. Okay,
no,
fair
things float and retain structure and stuff. Like
Fair enough.
Valheim had very cool physics
Pixel
of building.
voxely kind of stuff, yeah.
And this I'm sure I haven't kind of gotten through much of the building stuff yet. But I'm sure there's probably a little bit of that in there. But at the same time, I don't think they're trying to put too much limitations on the scope of what you can create based around like, how many tall like logs you can put on top of each other and stuff. I think it just wants you to just do cool stuff.
Sure.
And with the enshrouded areas, being toxic, so you can only be there for so long, what's kind of the benefit of going within them?
So these enemies that are much tougher, they always drop really great loot, and there's also like chests and things that spawn throughout the world, and these kind of structures and stuff. They're like cool little dungeons and stuff that you can go and get like good loot out of, and also the materials that you get from these areas are used in crafting like better, cooler stuff.
Yeah, right.
So when you want to start creating things that have like a magical element to them and stuff, you need to craft it from shrouded materials and things. And
Cool. Was the world isn't procedurally generated?
No.
But the loot, I guess, is in chests and stuff.
yeah,
like it's
and
random, but
the loot also respawns, which I thought was crazy.
interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
so you can raid an area and then you can come back to it a day
do it
later
again.
and there'll be stuff in there.
I really like. I hate procedural generation. I like a crafted
Agree to
world.
disagree.
I like totally.
think
And owls, I fucking hate owls.
I think it's exciting in the randomness of it, but you can see the architecture of it really quickly.
Sure.
In the way that everything kind of looks
But
like a version of something you've already seen.
totally, and like the benefit of designing a world is the design. Like just some of the structures you were walking on of the old world. Someone crafted that. It's like it's always going to look better if someone's designed it and feel better and like have that better sense of progression of like, oh, there's a tower.
Yeah.
So there's going to be something at the top of the tower as opposed to, oh, there's a procedurally generated tower.
Yeah, and it's not just a tower. It's they're towers that have like sort of jumping puzzles and like
Yeah,
and
sick.
puzzles and things that you have to solve to get to the top and things
Cool.
like that
Yeah.
with buttons and traps and all that kind of stuff.
My
Any
really-
pals?
There are no pals.
No pals.
No
My,
pals?
my really weird takeaways in all the footage I saw of this, because I heard nothing of it until like a month ago, and then suddenly it was bombarded on socials and stuff. My only weird takeaway is how stumpy everyone looks. Maybe it's like the 3/4 pants and the kind of
The
like
camera position
and the camera
almost,
position.
yeah.
And again, Josh, if you got a second of footage, I was like, oh, has everyone made their characters a little?
It reminds me a little bit of Rust. You know, everyone kind of looks a little bit
Yeah,
like a little
but
small.
like
Yeah.
even when they're wingsuiting, they're like everyone's kind of like their little stumpy
It's like
arms
the
and
0.5
stuff.
camera.
Yeah.
It's just every bit of footage. I was like, is this meant to be
On the
like
ground.
yeah.
the race of people you are? Anyway,
Yeah, but you and there's you know, different crafters and stuff that you can bring in to sort of start doing cool stuff for you, and they sort of populate out your little home base and stuff.
oh, you're hooked.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I went into it with low expectations and not thinking it would kind of hook me, but I'm really enjoying it. It's got a great soundtrack like Valheim did, which is a big part of those games when you're in them for a long time.
Totally,
You're kind
yeah.
of there crafting and doing things. And again, because it's not procedurally generated and it is a fully crafted world, I find it particularly hard not to just keep going in a direction. You
Yeah,
know, like
sure.
it's just, there's always something around the next corner that you kind of want to find.
Just on the horizon,
Yeah.
they can put something.
And they're very good at that. You know, anywhere you are, you'll see kind of mist and then things sticking out of it and mountains. And then you kind of go through it and the mist clears and there's a valley and then you'll see smoke coming from a camp and stuff like that. You can go in any direction. And we all will leave camp with a goal because we're like, okay, in order to upgrade our next thing, we all need to craft this material. So let's go to this place and see if we can find it. And within seconds, we've all split. You can see, like, I look at the map and there's just
You, Steph?
dots everywhere.
We're going, whoa.
And then I can hear someone go, oh God, oh no, these dudes are very high level. Can someone, and I look at them like, oh, we are not going to be able to get there.
No, I will not be getting to you.
Yeah,
No.
but it really does. It just draws you in those different directions. It's really it's really fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, and good on them because I think they hit 1 million players within the first 4 days, which they weren't expecting at all, and you know,
Survival games are popping
competing
off.
with Power World. I think that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gus.
My turn. I'll round this out quickly. I played a lot of stuff over the break, but the one I wanted to talk about briefly was I picked up The Last of Us Part 2 remastered version for
Sure.
PS5, which was released a couple of weeks ago. And this came out as if you owned the original or you owned the PS4 version, it was just an upgrade. So I picked it up and it was $15. I kept seeing it $20 being talked about in podcasts and stuff, but it was a $15 edition on the store when I picked it up. A couple of things. Obviously, it's been remastered, but I've seen most people talk about the fact that visually the game was just so fucking pretty on PS4 that you just don't really notice. Like, they apparently have done a lot to utilize the power of the PS5, but again, it's such a well-made, well-designed game from the beginning. I wasn't picking it up for that reason. The reason I was is because they advertised this mode called No Return, which is a roguelike that they decided to tack onto The Last of Us 2. The full game is there, and there are some other additional more some lighter things like some audio commentary when you play through the game from the developers.
Oh,
That's apparently
nice.
fantastic.
Oh,
There's some
crap.
lost levels
Yeah.
and some sections that were cut from the main game that you can go and play that are like, you get to walk around the town and do some sections that they said, hey, they just cut this for time, really.
Been done before, audio commentary on a
Audio
game?
commentary, yeah. Portal, famously, the Valve
Famous.
team do some great ones where you
Yeah,
interact
right.
with areas of the game to like hear the dev say, "Hey, when we hit this puzzle, it was for this reason."
Yeah.
So I haven't touched that stuff yet because this is what I really wanted to try. Because I was fascinated when I saw a trailer for this because it is at odds with what The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 in particular is as a game, which is an incredibly affecting story. We all have our opinions on the story, but we all, I think, agreed that the gameplay and the controls from the first game into the second are incredibly fascinatingly detailed. The way you can move around, the combat and movement is incredibly detailed and incredibly intricate, that you can create these scenarios of stealth and aggression and combat that look and play supernaturally as your character runs around and forages and scrambles and climbs under things and beats away enemies.
Don't get me
and-
started on the rope physics.
and the rope physics as well. So I loved the games, and I was one of those people who really just enjoyed some of those run-ins with combat sections where the game put the story to the side. I love the story, but just said, hey, here's an area in Seattle where you
Yeah.
just have to survive in this shopping mall. And I was like, this is great. So this did appeal to me, even though, as I said, it's at odds with the fact that The Last of Us Part 2 in its sense is kind of like a story about the cycle of violence and like, hey, when does it stop? And then they're like, hey, here's a mode that's a roguelike that's a cycle of violence where it's like you keep going through. It is essentially a mode where it randomizes areas of the game with enemy types and a couple of game modes. Ones where you just have to kill waves of enemies. I mean, it's essentially, if you're killing waves of enemies, it's, well, I guess, Steph, it's a wave mode. Skip. I just want the wave mode. Oh, I've missed this one.
Wave mode.
Very,
You seen that one, Romy?
very
I've never seen
smoothly-
that before in my life.
That's
I'm
wave
a
mode.
fan of wave mode.
Partially segued.
Yep. And so this has basically made these bite-sized combat arenas kind of reminiscent of the multiplayer, but obviously it's just against its PvE. You start in an area, you have to potentially kill 3 waves of enemies that will spawn around the map. It is arcadey by its very nature. You have a few resources, but you run around the map using that like listening ability, grabbing resources, making crafting weapons together and killing them. That's the assault mode. The other one is hunted, where you get like 2 minutes and they all know where you are and they are just coming for you. And it is high stress. I forgot just how visceral the combat in this is. And doing it in an arcadey mode
This
suddenly...
looks like, is there some combat stuff in this gameplay?
Potentially, yeah. If we scrub a little further forward, you do play it stealthily every time. Like
Yeah,
you,
sure, yeah,
there are some people
yeah.
who've like gotten really big on social media, TikTok and stuff, doing these like perfect runs.
I've seen
TikTok.
those, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're on TikTok. We forgot to
Hi,
say that.
TikTok.
We're live
Hi,
on TikTok right now.
Hey kids, floss.
Howdy.
But yeah, so that is
Everyone
what I
just
think.
left.
Everyone just left. We address them. That's what you don't do on TikTok.
Sorry for some apologies.
I think this encourages that kind of aggression in terms of the playstyle, particularly with the hunted mode. You do run and scavenge and ram and like put everything together while you're being chased. That is occasionally
That's your ally.
there is an ally occasionally. The way it plays out is you have a little base zone in between levels. I should have explained. You look at a pinboard. You've got a Polaroid photo of, say, one map. It might be the mall, and it'll be the mall with human enemies and no modifiers. You complete that, it branches out into 2 other Polaroids, and you pick one of those. One of them might be infected in the subway with a modifier that you can only use this weapon, or yeah, there are some strange modifiers and they get weirder as you progress. There's a heap of unlocks in terms of other characters' skins and some of their abilities. I think even Lev is in this with who's the character that she's with as well, or they're with as well, I should say, that they're escorting. It's like they have a companion character. Joel has like extra stamina, that kind of stuff. So they're all unlockable, and there's a reason to play through more and more. But essentially, yeah, as you branch off those paths, it has a little FTL vibe to it, where it's like, I want to go the top
Yara.
path
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I want to take the top path because I don't want to do the infected, but that leads to 2 bad choices. So which one of those do I pick? So it's not long. I can finish a run in maybe 15 minutes or just under 10 to 15
right,
minutes.
okay.
So
short.
it's short, but you take a currency with you into the little base after each level, and you can upgrade weapons at a randomized locker. I think randomized is kind of the key word in this, that it's basically like every run you take will change things up and try and keep it fresh. I've done 2 runs. There's a boss at the end of it. The first one was the big bloater, but I think it tells me that the next run you're going to face the Rat King, and the next run you're going to face a human with multiple weapons. So the idea is to upgrade the bosses as you complete each run.
Right.
And then, as I said, there's a heap of unlocks and replayability. Once I did 2 runs, I was done with this. I really enjoyed it,
okay.
but I think the last ability that it's encouraging did not really translate. And I will say part of that was because of the stress. As
Yeah.
much as I was getting good at the combat and I was being fast and fluid and I relearnt the controls, I was finishing each version of going, I just scraped through. That's commendable, but it's not as fun as I thought it might be.
Yeah, to me, the story is what pulls me through these stress sections.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I am living for the next moment that I get. Like I enjoy the combat and the stress, only with the knowledge that I'm like, I'm doing this for the next thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then it feels earned, and then I feel like the story feels more meaningful after what I've just gone through.
I would agree, but I don't want to replay this game because I don't want to go through those story
The
moments
director's
again.
commentary. That's reason enough.
That's good, but I would say like getting to those story beats a second time isn't there for me, which is why I liked this, which is
Yeah,
why
okay.
this appealed to me. And again, $15 because I had the original was a small price to pay. I thought for like the maybe 2 hours I played and really enjoyed getting back to grips with just how well the game is made. And it made me a bit sad because people have speculated that this is the leftover bits of the factions that got dropped, which is that sort of
The
more open
Volkswagen,
world
yeah.
one they wanted to make. Now, I agree that maybe that's not the best idea for a game, but I just appreciate how good the systems in this game are, and I would love to see them in a
Actual-
PvP or in an open world or a semi-open world game, because I did enjoy just revisiting how complex and how well made Naughty Dog make their games. So
Yeah.
I would recommend maybe giving it a quick shot just to enjoy the combat, and then check out those lost levels. I think are pretty combat free. They're like big open areas of story beats that weren't in the original that are worth checking out. So
Yeah.
it was fun, and it was a wave mode.
Nice. Well, that's what we've been playing. We played Power World. Peter played Prince of Persia and the Lost Kingdom?
The Lost Crown.
Lost Crown.
It's just colon as well. There's no and.
Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown.
Colon the Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown.
There you go.
Yep.
I played Enshrouded. And Gus played The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered.
No return.
No return.
There you go.
Amazing.
It's like we haven't even had a break.
No, gosh, I'm so good at this. We'll see you after the break. That's why you said that.
Are you tired of the chair you're sitting in stabbing you in the lower back because of a stray spring? Do you feel like you're in a saw trap when you're just trying to play fork knife? Well, have no fear, the Buri Buri Gamer Chair is here. For too long, the gamer chairs on sale have been lacking in a myriad of legal ways. The average gamer chair is made without the legal protections and materials that the Buri Buri Gamer Chair can provide. But this is all language for the litigious. If you're not a hotshot law guy like me, you have no interest in this stuff. No interest. So I'm gonna speak to you in your language. The gamer language. Buri Buri Gamer Chair is crafted with precision and designed for those who wish to fight hard on the virtual battlefield and fight even hard for weekend visits with their child. The Buri Buri Gamer Chair is not just a chair, it's your personal stand. Every curve and stitch has been meticulously engineered to make you feel legally secure while you game. The Buri Buri Gamer Chair does not protect the user from committing acts of defamation or verbal targeted harassment over voice chat or live on stream. The user is still legally responsible for their actions while sitting in the Buri Buri Gamer Chair. Made with comfort in mind, the Buri Buri Gamer Chair is justice for more than just us. It comes with customizable lumbar support, adjustable armrests, and a built-in gavel and block to really bring order to any heated gamer moment. The Buri Buri Gamer Chair is more than just a seat. It's a legally binding agreement to play hard. Is that real? That kind of sounds like bullshit. So if you're over the cheap seats and you're ready to sit in style with the knowledge that every piece of material that you're sitting on is fighting for your right to comfort, call 13-BURI-BURI, that's 13-2874-2874 to get your Buri Buri Gamer Chair today.
Sees a smorgasbord of back pocketeers rotate into the player roster each week. Alternatively, check out the Fortnite Friday people, and we have a whole smorgasbord of back pocketeers. Anyone is welcome.
I like that
just
you
wanna
used the
say-
word smorgasbord twice on this stream. That's fantastic.
Smorgasbord of back pocketeers.
Smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord? Smorgasbord or smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord.
Ruby is talking to Astarion, so click on the little... Don't!
Are you fighting Astarion?
Let's go,
Oh
Chaos
my God.
Team!
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's
I just feel like you attacked him for no reason.
Here comes Naked
That's
Monk.
not
Oops.
how D&D works.
Sorry, Steph, I hit you.
Oh my
curing
God.
him?
Me.
Don't.
We're gonna have to kill Steph.
Why are
Going
you
downhill
killing
very
him?
quickly.
We got
four
a full
people.
party. We don't need anyone. We could kill everyone we meet.
I'm a druid. I love life.
Yeah,
but
but
he's
this is a
vampire,
vampire.
man.
He's evil. All right, let's kill Astarion, please.
Oh, he's down to half health. Peter, finish him.
Yes.
Take all his stuff.
Did you
All
kill
right,
him?
Yeah, he's dead.
Where is he? You stripped him after you killed him?
Steph, do these clothes look familiar?
You look great.
I love clothes again. Stop
What are
bringing
you
it back.
doing?
He's back!
He's dead again.
You suck.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. We saw our Buri ad, a triumph.
Yeah, baby.
Amazing. Well done. Well
That
done.
Do the
was
scream for
so
me.
much fun. What?
Scream.
I loved doing that ad. It was so much fun. I was like very much like, you got to make this as VHS as possible. This needs to be
Not in filter, but in performance.
oh, big time. It needed to seem like I did not know what was happening. If
or as
you
we
need-
call it, Tuesdays.
Yeah. If you need any if you need any legal protection, give me a call. I will not protect you very well, but I will be a pleasure to be around.
You wear the shit out of that suit.
Oh yeah,
You'll
baby.
turn up to court and
That's
be
half
like,
the
"Oh,
battle.
boom,
That's half
power
the battle.
suit."
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you to Joshy for Smorgasbord, a new word from sponsors. New word? Yeah. And you saw us kill Astarion as is meant to be.
Up top.
That was so fucking soft.
It was warm too, Josh.
Yeah.
Alright, where'd
even.
this kind of macho man come from? Ugh. I only like to hit men hard.
All right, come here,
That
come here,
was
come here,
our proper
come here,
high
come here,
five.
come here, come here.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah, there we go. I'm strong as hell.
I'm pretty sure it's canon that I can't high five, so I can't help you.
Sang.
Peter, take it away.
What's happening now, Peter?
Let's go.
That's right. It's Pocket League time again. Woo!
Let's go.
Pocket League is brought to us by A. Timothy.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to you, A. Timothy. Another year of sponsorship. Appreciate it. For A. Timothy, I'm going to read to you some information, some facts about a famous Timothy, and I need you to identify that Timothy for me.
We got to be running dry on these, but sure.
No,
No,
there's
there's
heaps,
so
there's
many.
heaps.
Okay.
Okay. So Evan Know-It-All, Tim believes he has an incredibly wide knowledge of tools, electronics, and general mechanics. In reality, he is highly accident prone. He actually does have a significant amount of skill as a general handyman, but can be overly confident and prone to spectacular mishaps.
Ruby.
No, it can't be
Ruby.
this.
Ruby. Is that Tim Allen from Home Improvement?
No.
His character in the
I
Home
knew it. I
Improvement?
knew
Is
it.
it Tim?
couldn't be.
Is it
Is it not
Tim
Tim
the
the-
Toolman Taylor?
It is Tim the Toolman Taylor. Oh, which sucks because the double Tim, so you were actually correct but wrong. We're after Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Everything goes wrong.
I like we all made the noise. I'm like, Ruby, this is your chance.
Yeah.
This is your noise.
I just
I
remember
was
that show
waiting.
very well because Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Yeah.
the teen heartthrob of the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I was
made-
more into the older brother.
Tim.
What was his name? I actually don't remember
I
either of
liked
their names.
Al.
Beef McMahon.
Beef
Al
McMahon?
was the guy
Yeah.
over the fence.
Cool.
No,
He was a
Wilson.
he- he was a
That
heavy
was,
he was a heavy
Wilson?
set dude.
Wilson.
Wilson
Al
over the
was
fence.
the bearded.
That was his co-star
his
on the
sidekick.
show. Yeah, his
Oh
co-host.
yeah. And then wasn't Carmen Electra on it at one point?
There was like always the girl in the assistant who
The-
wore a skimpy outfit, which was very 90s,
Hot
kind of
tool
like
lady. Yeah, hot-
I'm on the
hot-
front of the yeah.
Yeah.
Can we quickly go around the horn and do our best Tim the Toolman Taylor noise? Ruby first. Steph. Peter.
Hey neighbor.
Oh, I ruined it.
Yours
that
is
was
very
pretty
good.
good.
I think
yeah.
I can do it well, and I hate that.
Yeah. You're kind of like him.
I hate that. All right, moving on.
You're kind of like Tim Allen though, not Tim the Toolman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of like Woody.
Yeah.
That was such a period of 90s sitcom history of like taglines and what do you call it? Catchphrases and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll just make a noise.
Okay, so before we get stuck into the 2024 Pocket League, we are going to revisit 2023's Pocket League. Will has all of the stats, all the data, and he's going to talk us through how last
Cutting
season went.
live to Will in the control room. How's the traffic,
yeah.
Will?
Hello.
Helicopter noise.
Me
We can make a helicopter.
with the helicopter.
Put a jacket on.
I did put a jacket on.
He's a star.
You got a little lapel pin
in this heat?
I think so.
Will.
Yeah.
Respect.
I'm very. I've got
You're
the
looking
aircon.
very smart.
yeah.
that's
I'm
true.
getting full force over here.
Looking very smart.
All right.
Talk us through it.
Hello and welcome. I am Obnoxious and will be your host of these 2023 season results. Last year we had Steph, Gus, Pete, and a newcomer, me. The question is,
I love me.
I'm my favorite. Will the season champs hold their ground, or will the newcomer take the crown?
Ooh.
Let's check out these results, which are already here due to the way this is set up. The first is me, Will. Ironically, I picked Replace, which was replaced by Minecraft Legends alongside Marvel Spider-Man 2, Tron Identity, Forza Motorsport, and Wolong Fallen Dynasty. So in terms of the scoreboard, that puts me at the top.
Hey.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank
Here's
you.
where that confidence has
Thank
come
you.
from.
Yeah.
That's right.
Deserved.
So Will
Yes.
won?
That's
Apparently
true.
number one at the
Number
moment.
one in terms of starting the
But
results.
it's anyone's game.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
not
right.
Will's because he won.
I won.
But I have a feeling, considering he didn't work from the bottom up,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
often
yeah.
how this happens, there's a twist to come.
Well,
Ooh.
maybe. Steph, you were next, and you picked Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which comes out tomorrow.
Hey.
So it didn't get through. It got replaced by the Avatar game, and was followed on by Baldur's Gate 3, Destiny 2 Lightfall, Final Fantasy 16, Gus, and Atomic Heart. That puts you at a total score of 401, which actually puts you ahead.
So I came second?
Yeah,
No.
but this is how
Connor, you're
scoreboards
winning.
work. This happens,
just put it-
and then that happens.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
See, it's like
So I came fourth.
it's coming together slowly.
No, Steph, you're
Steph.
first.
You're first in terms of the results that have been shown
Think
at
of
this
it like.
point.
So I came third.
No,
No,
what the
we're still going.
stop.
There's
So he's
four.
doing this for drama's sake. You might have won it.
There's 4 people.
And so Will's
Steph
winning.
actually wasn't watching when he started this for about 2 minutes, so
What were you doing?
Yeah, she was-
I kicked the dog back, so then I had to give her tummy scratches to reassure her that she was a good girl.
Will, go.
I'll continue.
You got this.
Please.
Peter, you were the only one on the team with a full uncancelled list of games.
Nice.
Congratulations, you chose Tears of the
me.
Kingdom, Starfield, Telltale's Expanse. Apparently that was good. Assassin's Creed Mirage and Octopath Traveler. This brings your total to 421.
I won!
That's true. Currently, you have won, Peter.
No, Steph's in third.
And you're
No, wait.
And lastly, Gus,
now.
you picked PGA Tour 2K23, and that's just a fact. You also picked the Plucky Squire, which might come out sometime later this year.
Maybe.
So it got swapped in for Pikmin 4, which joins Jedi Survivor, Resident Evil 4, Street Fighter 6, and that other game. And that means that you, sir, got a total of 434.
Gus won!
Gus won!
I beat Steph! Oh, nice.
Oh no, but we also last year introduced a mechanic that...
Oh, the counterpick!
the,
Oh, she's paying attention now!
Forgot about the counterpick.
the counterpick.
It's anyone's game!
It's anyone's game. We created, well, we didn't create it, but it's a mechanic that no one in this room understood when we utilized it. And then I, Handy got a sheet from Ben with all the rules, and then I looked at the link and went, I actually know everything, and made the rules slightly myself. But it mathematically makes sense. And so if you say it's wrong, whatever. But the way that we're looking at it and the way we'll carry it into the 2024 season is that if you counterpick someone's lowest scoring game, you get the other section of the points. So if they get a game that the lowest score is 70, you will get 30 points added to your score. So it's pretty big. If you can nail it, it's pretty good. If you can't nail it, nothing happens.
You're becoming British.
He started a little bit British.
It's in and out, Gus.
He's Jeremy Clarkson.
This is
now.
Clarkson.
That's right.
I love it.
Including the fact that I didn't try this jacket on earlier and it doesn't fit me. But yes, the counterpicks don't always work. In the case of me, I picked Suicide Squad. It didn't come out, but it also may do well. No counterpick there. Gus, you picked Atomic Heart, which surprisingly wasn't the lowest scoring game on Steph's list. So no extra points there.
So close.
So my inability to pick good games helped me because I had so many.
That's
There are few,
true.
it's true.
Because Steph, you chose Peter's Darling, Telltale The Expanse, which was his lowest. This got you an extra 24 points.
Yes!
Which means
She's coming 5th.
when the that's correct. That's correct. When the animation works, there you go.
Look at this.
Pushes
So
up
I
to
did come second.
You currently
not
did
over.
come second.
You're currently second.
But there's one more person on the board.
You're living right in the moment, aren't you? Second to second.
This is how I live my life.
Second to
Yeah.
second.
Just imagine all this joy. Peter, you counterpicked Gus's golf game, and that got you an extra
The easiest pick of the lot.
23 points, which means, Peter, you won 2023. Congratulations, Peter Burns.
That means I picked last this year, right?
Yeah, it does.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
That's the upside to being bad.
So the thought was that I thought I won
Well
last
played,
year, got
Will.
to enjoy the win, but now, because you are the winner, as we pointed out, you will go last in the pick. So I'm glad I didn't come first. I get to push myself up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
pick PGA Tour 2024.
24.
That
cool.
was a wild ride.
Thank you so much, Obnoxious.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, Steph,
You're
you went on.
speaking from
more.
personal
Yeah.
experience. I don't think it was that wild for anyone else.
Yeah, I've got to go. Someone's burning my steak.
Good. All right. So
can't
that's
go.
where we
Very
are
nice.
with that.
Yeah, so those ranks will determine the pick order for this year. We actually have 6 of us involved this year. Last year obviously was the 4 of us, but we have a team in the studio of 6, so we're going to give all 6 of us a crack.
Yeah.
We're going to reduce the amount of picks we have to 4 games and 1 reserve. So there'll be 30 games on the board at the end of the night. But obviously, Ruby, you're going to be involved this year.
Yeah.
And Josh as well is getting in on the action.
Nice.
So if there are
And I
4...
told them,
Sorry?
I'm not fucking around. I'm here to play.
Oh my God.
Because there are going to be 4 or 5 Riot games that come out this year. So
Can
that's
I-
his list.
Can I just say, I saw from a distance the length of games that Josh had on his list, and he had grouped them into categories and then ordered them within those categories, and and explained that he's been doing his research for months.
I would argue this is the worst segment to do that for because it's like one round and all of it goes to shit.
I want to say
It's
that
hard.
What
I
happens
picked,
at the end of the year,
Falls-
Gus?
Okay, all right, let's talk then.
I want to say that I picked my games approximately 10 minutes before the show started.
No.
Unbelievable.
Get out.
So
Okay, so obviously the scores that we had last year, the scores that we'll have this year as well, are based on the Open Critic score, not the Metacritic score. So it is just critic review, and because the audience don't know what they want. And then we will do counter picks again, and we'll do that at the end. But Will, as you came dead last year, we're going to give you...
Hang on. We can't see Will.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Will?
What
Love
a solution.
that.
Now put the rest of us in all of our boxes, Josh.
Yeah.
Hang on, can I ask a question? Can you go back to Will as a pockety? Yeah, so Steph's hair's the right color there, but then when you bring you in,
Yeah.
she goes back to the
There's a little fade.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think we can sacrifice that for Will's beautiful
The effort
face.
was made. Love it.
All right, Will.
Me.
You're up first. First
Ta-da.
pick of the year.
My first pick of the year will be, it's on my list, as we all do.
This is a coveted position to be in.
Yeah.
But then you're not going to get to pick for 8 or
Totally.
11 more goes. So
It's it means you got to make a pick. This has got to be the most anticipated, the most...
there's a lot of pressure on this.
Yeah.
This is the hardest decision you'll make in your life.
It's true. Eeny, meeny, miny.
We should have all put our heads in boxes.
I am going to pick what I think is one of the few big ones that have been worked on for a while that actually might come out there. I'm going to go with Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
Okay.
It felt like a it was going to be like the launch Xbox thing, so I feel like Microsoft has confidence in it. And
You've been cooking it.
they've been cooking it for a while,
yeah.
so yeah, I'm going with Hellblade as my first pick.
Nice.
It's a good choice. I'm
Another-
sure a lot of us are like scrubbing off ours.
Trailer recently, which means hopefully
Yeah.
it's on its way.
Yeah. Ruby, would you like to do the honors of jumping in? Was that your very first pick?
Amazing.
And I thought so hard about it as well. And like obviously we've made very big lists to kind of figure it all out.
Yeah.
But that was my first pick because I was like, that's gonna go crazy with the critics. They're gonna freaking love it.
So are
Yeah,
you now
good
going to pick your number 2, or is this throwing your list into...
Disarray.
I had
Did you only have one game?
one game. I had one game on my list.
I did not understand
No.
the brief.
Okay, so that was my first one, but that's fine because I got plenty more where that came from. And I think next I'm going to go with the Plucky Squire.
The Plucky
Yeah.
Squire.
Because
Put it on the board.
I think it's very creative. It's going to be doing a lot, but they've also given it a little extra time to simmer.
It's had one delay, so in
It's had
theory...
one delay.
As the way delays work, you only get one.
It's a one delay.
Yeah.
Also, you know, I trust them, and it seems like it's going to
trust
be
'em.
one of those indie darlings. So
It does.
that's my pick.
Nice.
Okay, so next up we have our bronze medalist.
Third place, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Pick a game, any game. Make sure it's good.
I am choosing Hades 2.
Hades
Damn it.
nuts.
All right. Put it on the scoreboard.
Everyone's crossing that one off their little lists, aren't they?
Yeah.
Forgot.
You forgot.
I forgot. Well, I know
my
that
goodness.
it's
You love
we were
Hades.
getting an early access announcement this year, but I didn't know it was coming out this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of expectation that it will come by the end of the year, but your reserve may come into play. But if it comes out, it's pretty much a guaranteed 98.
Yeah.
Worth
Josh.
the risk. Worth the risk.
I have one question actually, because I just looked it up, and this game is actually out like 4 days ago.
Yeah, you
Does that
can't
still
pick it.
count?
You can't pick it.
All right, that's all right.
That's okay.
I'm gonna go with.
His whole list has gone into
He's-
disarray.
Yeah.
He's sweating. He's
Suicide
sweating.
Squad's still coming out in a couple of days, buddy. You can still go for it.
No. Fuck that game. I'm gonna go Princess Peach Showtime.
Oh, we know where that stings.
Right in the...
Right in the ruby.
Everyone's out to get me. Everyone's out to hurt me.
All right, number 2.
Hello. I would like to pick Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
All right.
It's got a lot of fan service and money. I think it'll be good. I really want it to be good. I
Yeah.
always do this every year. I pick the one I really want to be good. It doesn't make sense. I should be being objective, and I should be picking something clinical that I know
Yeah.
is reviewed well and is a sequel.
Yeah.
But I really want Indy to be good.
I realize that says Indiana Jones at the Gold Coast, but it's a shortened version.
What did you fly? Did you fly into Maroochydore, or did you go to
Brizzy, yeah.
okay,
What a
you
map
got it,
scene
yeah.
that would be.
All right, I'm picks. I'm the last pick, so I'll pick 2 now.
You pick, and then it
before
goes
we
back the
snake
other
back
way.
up
Yep,
because we're
yep,
doing
yep,
the
yep,
reverse
yep,
snake
yep.
order. I'm going to pick 2 games that I absolutely will not be playing this year.
Interesting.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth
God damn it.
and Persona 3 Reload. Rebirth me and reload me. That's what I'm all about this year. You
Getting
know,
rebirthed and reloaded.
Rebirth and Reloaded.
That's awesome, dude.
I don't know in which order, but you know.
Everyone,
Oh, P3 already has scores? Okay, then I can't pick that. Ba-bow.
Yeah, no, that dropped. Yeah, that's actually true.
Ditch it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I
that's
can't
so
do it.
good.
Is that
Oh, that's so good.
legal? No, it can go. I can't have that. I will then put in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Wait, are they
No.
making that?
Are they indeed?
I know, because I thought that was like a game for life kind of. It was like they made it and they were gonna.
They
just
have a
be-
new one coming out.
Such a boring Peter pick.
But what a hot ass.
He won last year, didn't he? Only because of the
Oh, yeah.
only because of
Only
the
'cause
counter pick.
you came after my beloved golf. Back to me.
Yeah.
Back to me.
When did the scores for Persona 3 come out? It must have been today.
It was a
Maybe
review
yes,
2
huh?
days ago.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, a day or 2 ago. Okay, my number 2 pick. Is again, I feel like I'm going to do the stupid thing and pick something that I want to be good. And I'm going to go with a LucasArts property again. I'm going to go with Star Wars Outlaws. It is slated for the first half of this year. I really suspect it's going to get delayed, but I'm hoping if it gets delayed to the second half of this year.
Persona 3 Reload has 89% on OpenCritic. I vote we move this show to Tuesdays going forward.
Oh yeah. Oh
so that
yeah.
I can pick it.
All right, cool. I'm up there as Star Wars Outlaws. Stephanie, snaking back.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh wait, sorry. Did we? Sorry, yes. Did I lost track of the order while I was looking that up. But Josh goes before Steph between you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Josh, can you please not choose Dragon's Dogma 2?
Honestly, was it your pick?
It's on my list,
But it wasn't your pick. But now you have the opportunity to do something very funny.
But you wouldn't.
Very funny.
Like hilariously
But
funny.
you wouldn't.
No, I'm not going to do that. I saw someone ask in the chat, I think, the game I was going to pick that came out 4 days ago was Tekken 8.
Yeah, that's already got scores out. I think that has reviewed pretty well as well.
Brutal.
Yep, that's all right. I'm going to go with EAFC 25.
So,
Okay,
a safe
safe
pick.
bet.
Tekken 8 is 90% on OpenCritic as well.
Jesus.
We've already had some massive games come out.
That's true.
What was Prince of Persia?
Prince of Persia's like a solid 89, I think.
Yeah, okay.
A couple of 92s in there.
Yeah, 87.
Okay, so Steph, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yes, please.
Great. So we're back to Ruby.
I am going to go with the DLC's fair game, yeah?
Yep.
Expansion's a fair game?
Yeah, if
I
they're
mean, if they're going to get reviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they'll
In
get,
that case, and I think it will. I'm going to go with the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree expansion.
No, you're not.
Oh,
I am.
bitch.
I am.
That's a good pick.
I want
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
right.
yeah. I am.
Yep,
And that's
fair.
on
Weird
God and
energy
Jesus.
everywhere just for that one. Don't know what that
Yeah.
was about.
I think it's gonna be a 10.
Yeah.
That's a
Yep.
spicy
I should have
play.
picked- I
That's a
should have picked
spicy
it. I
play.
almost
Christina.
forgot about
Some call it
myself.
that's a spicy meatball.
I forgot entirely.
I heard it's actually dog shit. Will, Will, you're up.
That's me.
Hello.
I'm going
Boy.
to go with the Aussie indie, which I feel like has almost come out a few times. Hopefully, this will be the year. Broken Roads, I think, is
Oh,
scheduled
yeah.
for this
No
year.
reaction. Just swallow my beer on.
Broken Road.
Broken Roads. I'm so sorry, Angus.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen it. It's been at PAXs. It's been all over the place, and it always looks really cool. And I think there's an audience that is going to really enjoy this. And it's gotten. I think there's a preview late last year, so I think it may actually hit its date this year. So
Yep, nice.
Broken Roads.
Awesome. I didn't have that. Ruby, we're back.
To me again?
Yep.
True. Okay.
Does
Hang
Will get
on.
to pick twice here?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I think it was Ruby before Will.
Ruby did pick before
I did
Will.
go
Ruby
before
picked
Will.
before
Oh, no,
me.
but Will picks twice, yes.
And then
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
And now
get
you'll
to
pick
speak
twice.
again, and then it's
Will,
back
yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
And back we go. We'll get it.
Sorry, buddy.
Welcome back.
It's me again.
Yep.
I'm going to pick.
Welcome
It's a
back.
game I'm very keen for. Thank you, Josh.
There we go.
Excellent. Makes up for the two
That one
fuck-ups
was on
before.
purpose. Yeah.
Hell yeah, Josh. I'm going to pick Pacific Drive, which is the the Ghostbuster-y, Stranger Things-y. It
Yeah,
just looks
nice.
very cool. And again, I've done my research because Josh said that that's the thing we can do. And it seems to be getting some good previews, so
Yep.
keen for that.
Yeah. Yep, looking good.
Does look good.
All right, Ruby.
I'm going to go with Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
Ooh,
Dang it.
risque.
Come on.
Because
It's just a delay-a-thon with that one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but for, pretty serious reasons.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying it's been delayed a lot.
Yeah, but I think they're
You
going to
don't get any
it out.
points for wars in other
I'm not
countries,
saying
mate.
why. I'm just saying they still have a lot to. They've
Yeah,
still
but
working on
that's
it.
the thing. I think people are going to really, respond well to it.
So they're
You
gonna
know
get
why it's been delayed, though, Gus.
They're going to get sympathy points.
I don't know.
No, people are going to criticize it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think people are going to take into account, what it must have been like working on the game in
Absolutely,
that environment.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the thing is that like with critic scores, you do also take into account what was going on behind the scenes.
Totally, the context
And
of the
context,
team, like
yeah,
it's a smaller team,
Yeah.
will get
Yeah.
looked upon more favorably for shortcomings. Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm going with Stalker 2.
And it is stylized Chernobyl, or is that in Ukraine it is Chernobyl? Because it's Chernobyl.
I'm with you.
But
I
I've
think
seen
it is,
it listed
it is being
as
listed
OR.
as yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that might be how
I'm
you.
confused
That may be how
about
it's
that, but-
spelt in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, whatever it is, that one. Absolutely. That was on my list last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that one.
So it was on my list this year as well. Didn't get around to it. Stephanie, you're up.
My list is getting very thin, you guys.
we've got-
You can
Very
have my
thin.
list if.
So
Yeah, go.
I have 2 left that I need to fill,
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
and then a
Or is it?
what do you call it?
Reserve, yeah.
Reserve.
Yep.
I have one that I want to put on there, but it doesn't have a release date,
All right. We've got a few that are aimed
risky
at
which
this
is
year.
risky.
Yeah.
But Hades 2 also risky,
Yeah, I
and
wouldn't,
I only
wouldn't
have
double
one.
risk it.
I only have one reserve.
Don't double risk it.
I wouldn't pick Hades 2 again.
But this game did have a release date for last year, so it's like, how many times could it get delayed?
You only get one. That's how delays work. We talked about that. Do it. Do it.
You're
Lock
so
it in.
brave.
Do it.
Martha is Dead 2.
Go on,
movie.
girl. Do it.
Coming this summer.
I'm gonna choose The Wolf Among Us 2.
Son of a...
Ah.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Is it the same Telltale team that did the Expanse? Because if it is, looking good.
Ooh, I don't know. I just remember
High-
really enjoying
high
The Wolf
70s.
Among Us 2. I remember people have been
Josh
looking
would
forward.
play.
Oh, sorry, the Wolf Among Us, the first one. I know that people have been looking forward to the sequel for a long time.
Yeah,
I think
totally. People are really attached to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Joshua.
based on comics.
What
people
you
love.
got?
I think I'm gonna go with Wolf Among Us was also on my list, and I think I want to make it so that since I didn't take Dragon's Dogma, Steph, you're not allowed to counterpick me. You can counterpick someone else.
I'm not allowed to counterpick you.
Is that fair?
Well, there's no- I think-
because I let you have Dragon's Dogma.
No.
I feel like that's
No,
fair.
because I was gonna
Let
choose.
you have.
I did that out of the generosity.
We all know
of
Dragon's
my
Dogma
heart.
is an
You already
eight at
said that
best.
wasn't going to be your choice anyway. So you were just
Soft
given
7.
information before you were supposed to have it.
It was on my list.
You guys should think of like 10 to 20 games like I did.
I have
Just saying.
30.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah,
I've just got Ruby's list.
I assumed
I've got a
all
lot,
of
yeah.
these games would get said,
Yeah.
but some of them
We got a lot
haven't.
going on.
I have
all
10.
right,
Josh?
I'm gonna go with.
Still.
I'm gonna go with. This is my third, right? I got 2. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. I think I'm gonna go with Mars First Logistics.
Oh, like the full release?
Has it been
Ah.
scored off early access?
Yeah, but I would
Does it
say
count?
that early
Yeah,
access
'cause
scores don't count.
it's so
because not a
indicative
full-
But
of
it just,
what it's
they
about
just
to-
roll. They often don't re-review. They
Yeah.
just roll that thing over.
Yeah.
If I can't pick it, I can pick something else. I got
This
so
is
many
a grey
fucking-
area. I
You do
feel
have a lot
like
of
we
games.
haven't,
It's a grey
Okay,
area.
no,
It
that
doesn't
being
have scores.
said-
It doesn't
that
have
being
scores.
said-
You can pick it.
Yeah,
You can pick it.
because as well, Baldur's Gate would have gotten a score at the start of its early access, and then also a
There are
new
currently
score
no
now.
scores.
There's no open critic score, so it's absolutely fair game.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
All right.
Fair.
I'm gonna dive from the AAA bin into
Actually,
the...
Gus, it's your turn.
I will continue from the AAAs over to the indies, and I'm going to pick
Ooh.
Rise of the Golden Idol.
No, I had that.
The sequel to the much beloved Curse of the Golden Idol, and it did damn well in that. So as sequels go, they get better. There it is.
Kind
Fair
of.
enough.
Pick. Peter.
All right, I'm picking my final 2 main listers here. I'm gonna do Metaphor Rifantatio because Atlas.
Is this your Martha is Dead?
Oh yeah.
No, it's Atlas.
Should we all go see the movie together when it comes out?
Totally.
Mother's Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How fun.
I get scared, but I love
Who
horror
would have
movies.
thought, you guys? Who would have thought we'd be here? Martha is Dead, a feature film. Wow.
And I'm also going to do Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake. It's in Italian.
It should be.
It's in Italian.
You could say, in a way, Steph did get her film. Yeah, nice.
I won't do.
All right, back to Gus.
Back to me. Okay, so I've got a list of a few games here which I think are safer bets, but something popped up in my mind that I'd forgotten about. And I'm going to do the thing I did with the first 2 and just pick
Oh, no.
a game that I really want to be good.
Chaos.
So here is my pick for Expeditions, a Mud Runner game.
Oh, Is that out like in the next
It looks
few days?
sick.
It looks so good. Previews were really positive. So Mud Runner series, Snow Runner, the one with the trucks.
yeah.
This one is more like in a desert where it's like you have drones and I don't have anything else to say. I can't wait to play it. And I think it's gonna be cool. Thank you, What the Shark. I'm glad you approve. That's my pick.
Lock the
Nice.
diff.
Lock the diff.
Fuck the diff.
People love simulators and they review well because they do what they set out to do well. They don't have to be a fun
yeah.
game. They have to do what they ask
And
well.
they get so technical into a very specific area.
Although this one, I think, has walked it back to be a little more approachable. So I think they're going to walk a fine line, or they're going to drive a fine line between simulation approachability. Joshua, pick,
My last
please.
one. I did mention to some of you guys that I had a Hail Mary pick because I have
did?
I have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and then I have a Hail Mary
the
pick
categories.
in my
He's
list.
got the categories.
And my Hail Mary pick, because I don't have a whole lot of faith that it's going to come out this year, but it could come out Q4. It really could, guys. I promise.
Good.
All right, dude.
Is Squadron 42.
Okay.
The hell is that?
That's Chris Roberts. So Chris
a s-
Roberts
it's a
stole
single-player
Josh's
Starfield.
wallet, and
It's the single-player Star Citizen campaign. It's a standalone game.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not happening.
They feature locked it in Q3 of last year, so depending on how long they want to take with it, we'll see. It
I
could
think,
be
like,
it could be this
statistically,
year.
the timeline of anything in that
Yeah, that's
development cycle
Well,
suggests.
then, why are you complaining about it? Why are you talking shit?
I'm just saying that, like,
It should be great for you guys if that's the case. Then
it's so defensive.
He's been taking this very serious. Months he's put into this.
Categorize, labels,
Give the
coloring.
man his pick. Josh, you've got a great list there. We're back to Steph for your pick number 4.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Rise of the Ronin.
It's locked. Shouldn't have made that noise. Shouldn't have made that noise. The look he gave me.
No one put in Stellar Blade, that game we looked at that's out in April that we thought we were like, that looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it on my like backup list, but yeah, it never fully made it up to the top when I was looking at it.
Okay.
That
went quiet.
My turn? I'm going to take a chance on this one because it was supposed to come out last year and they haven't said anything. I have got a reserve, so it's fine.
Take a chance, 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 take a chance.
If you change your mind, you can't.
No,
You can't get locked in.
No, we're gonna get taken down.
Hollow Knight Silk Song.
I was going to put it as a reserve if no one picked it because it needs to be on the list.
Of course.
Awesome. Good on you. Yeah, absolutely.
Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Absolutely.
Baby.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I
of
hope it comes
course.
out.
Yeah, the thing is, if it was supposed to come out last year,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it comes out this year. And if it doesn't, that's fine. I think they
But
should have
wasn't
all
it
the-
supposed to come out in 2022?
Yeah, like
But then
whatever.
at some point, it's like sunk cost fallacy, right? Where you're like, surely that
Yeah.
means there's no way it could get delayed
Yeah.
further.
They've been cooking that for so long.
Yeah.
They burnt that thing.
Yeah, and
not.
you know what? I think it's going to be really, really good when it comes out. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
well,
and you have a reserve.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Hollow
let's
Knight
move on
Silk
to
Song.
the
We're going
reserves.
to for Will's final pick and reserve.
That's right. I'm putting Replaced back on my list. It was one that didn't come out last year. And I've been saying there's been consistent dev diaries, and they seem pretty committed to putting it out. It's the, like, RTX on voxel game, basically.
Yes.
And it's very, very pretty. So
Looks very sick.
I'm putting it there because, who knows, it may... I mean, only one delay, but who knows, it might get another one. Because my first reserve pick is a quieter indie game as well. It's called Open Roads, and it's kind of like a modern take on point-and-click adventures. They're kind of 3D environments, but it's still kind of still images in the front. And
It looks beautiful.
yeah. it
And
looks
after Road
gorgeous.
96, it like was giving those vibes as well, like just the long unending road trip and
And it
yeah.
just feels like a polished version. Like, not that it wasn't, but this feels like they know what they're doing now. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
keen for that.
Beautiful. Nice. Okay, Ruby, would
Back
you
to
like to
me.
pick a reserve?
Well, I
You don't have to.
Right? Oh, I probably do have to.
You
right?
should.
I should. Okay. I'm gonna make like a Gus and also dip into the indie pond. I'm gonna go with Animal Well.
Nice.
I think it'll do really well. I trust Donkey's judgment.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna publish good games. I believe him.
Yeah.
I am very excited for it. I think it's gonna once again be one of those indie darlings that really just has more under the surface than anybody expected. So yeah, Animal Well.
I'm fascinated that the Dunkmeister. We're on a first name basis.
Yeah.
That is Donkey's first name.
Well, I'm not super surprised that he got into publishing.
Yeah, nor am I. I mean, I think his criticism was always so well directed, and he had a really good understanding of what was good in games. But it's interesting that like becoming a producer of video games and a publisher of video games is a very different beast. So I think eventually he will be releasing with his publication company incredible games, and I hope it starts with Game 1.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
I'm very stressed.
Do you want to look at what I've got left?
Josh, we got any
I think I
background
should
music
just
to
stick
calm
with
us
what
down?
I've-
Just some chill elevator music to
I'll turn
take
it
the
down this
edge
way
off.
Anyway, if you want to have a
Some
little look.
reserve music.
Some reserve music.
Naughty. Oh my gosh, there's
That was horror.
so many games on there that I'm like, what?
I mean, it's a
Really?
reserve. It shouldn't really.
I'm just putting it
Oh, it
there.
will, because Hades 2 will get delayed.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
gonna
very
say
important.
Little Nightmares 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a
alright.
solid pick. That'll
I
feel like-
score well.
All 1 and 2 always scored quite well. Right?
They've all sat at 80s, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't think
It's a safe
anything's.
They're fun,
Safe
and
reserve.
the second game is way better than the first game, and I
Yeah.
think the third game will be
That's how games work.
A really good entry. Yeah, every time sequels are always better.
Death Stranding 2?
Joshua, reserve us.
I actually don't know. I've never played this franchise, but I think from what I have been able to gather, this release is going to do well this year. I'm going to go with Frostpunk 2 for my reserve.
Sequels are interesting choices.
Sequels
Do I
never do
bore
better
you?
than their originals.
No, but they will never usually plummet down. So if something got an 80, you've got.
I thought you were joking because we were literally just talking about how sequels always do better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a joke.
Okay.
Oh.
They don't. They do the same or a little less.
What?
No.
No. Portal versus Portal
Computer,
2.
show me Mass Effect 2.
The Witcher 2. The Witcher 3.
Half-Life versus Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Little Nightmares 1. Little Nightmares 2.
Yeah.
Little Nightmares 3.
Come on. And so it goes. Okay, no, fair enough. I'm just swinging wild because I don't really know what to pick. I'm completely out. My list
Yeah.
I
is run
also
dry.
want to say that
You don't get to
over 70% of your games last year had a number in them. So in terms of follow-up video games,
Golf is iterative.
Yeah, but
it's
with the
timeless.
Roman
Golf-
numerals, it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I can't keep up with that.
Okay, me?
Yeah. Okay.
it.
Okay, you.
Fuck it. Stellar Blade.
All right.
Good on
There
you.
we go.
Yeah, I only just learned about it today, but I
Yeah.
I liked what I saw.
I
No
love this
South Park
chaos
Snow
energy
Day.
from you. I've been there. I've been in that place.
It's too hot. It's too hot to
Yeah.
pick.
Where was Snow
Yeah.
Day?
Oh, it's not going to be good. I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
South Park Snow Day. No, that's a mobile game that's been dressed up as a full release. Anyway.
All right.
Fable's coming out this year?
So I'm wrapping it up. I'm wrapping it up. My reserve pick. I am concerned that Metaphor Rifantatio could get pushed because it's kind of like an October, November, like it's a fall release. So I want it to be good, and because of that,
Lord Shad. Yeah, Gus isn't winning this year.
Got him.
but I also want to put something fun out there. But okay, I'm gonna put Hyperlight Breaker up.
Oh, fun. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the 3D version of Drifter. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Basically, they've done what Risk of Rain did.
Yes, yeah.
They had a
yeah.
really popular 2D version of a game, and they went, let's take it up another dimension.
Yeah.
Not just a 0.5, not a 2.5D.
It's full 3.
Full 3D.
All of the dimensions.
Even the
All of the
sneaky one they
dimensions.
didn't tell you about at school.
Almost everyone.
Very nice. Okay, so do we want to go through our list individually? Well, I guess we'll start with Will. We'll go through the list again. And
There's
look
no
at-
Will in a box.
There's no Will in the box. It's a
There
Will in a
he
There
box.
he is.
Just to look at what everyone ended up with. Will's got Hellblade 2, Broken Roads, Pacific Drive, Replaced, and Open Roads. A lot of car games, a lot of road-based
driving.
gaming.
Yeah.
But a lot of solid games that you would expect based on kind of the reception of the trailers and stuff to be 8s and up.
His list sounds, sorry to talk over you, Will, but like, apart from Hellblade, it just sounds like a series of problems driving.
Yeah.
Broken roads, Pacific Drive, I replaced it, I went on the open roads.
I'll tell you, most of those weren't my picks, and then as they were coming out of my mouth, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of cars.
There's a lot of cars.
Yeah, so someone pointed out in chat, and Ruby also, I think all my games are sequels.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Nearly.
Oh, yeah.
Almost all the
Hellblade
games
2
are sequels.
was on all of our potential lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So-
one, I feel like that one's just going to be loved by critics like the last one.
It's actually
was.
really hard to crack a
but
9.
high expectations for it, though, which is the other thing.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, hard to crack a. We got a few last year, but mid to high 90s. I don't think a lot of what's on the board is going to get in this year. I think it's
Yeah.
just that kind of thing where we're going to be fighting now for like high 80s and not to fall into the 70s. There'll be a lot. I think that's what happened last year, isn't it, Will? Like there was a
Yeah,
lot
totally.
between 80 and 90.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
wasn't. There was.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any.
It's the
90s.
IGN 8 personified.
Apart from Baldur's Gate, I think was the biggest king hit. The one thing with Hellblade that I'm hoping is that the first one was loved, but it was kind of treated in the pile of indies that don't get enough love and don't get reviewed in the same kind of way.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm hoping this one being pushed into the AAA market, either it will get reviewed better or worse, but I think it will be looked at a little bit differently, and so hopefully
It's a big swing, but someone's got to take it.
Yeah. But yeah, everything else is just some cool indies really that that look great.
You could sneak in well with indies that all do well. Like, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Speaking of which,
I want to play all those games.
I'm hoping my indie swings in well.
Well, we'll go to Ruby.
Yeah, no, it's a segue.
Yeah, it's a great segue.
Thanks.
You both have brown hair, so
Yeah, it's true.
pretty much the same person. Plucky Squire,
Yep.
Elden Ring,
Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Shadow of the Erd Tree is the expansion that's coming this year. Stalker 2, Hollow Knight, Silksong, and Animal Well.
I'm feeling very confident with all of mine, to be completely honest. For like a myriad of different reasons.
Yeah.
I will say, like, what kind of always makes this hard for me is like knowing that we picked them at the very start of the year, and then there's plenty of games that just get like dropped throughout the year without being announced
Yeah.
beforehand. So like, there's gonna be games that like I see come out and I go, oh, I wish that was on my list. But I think I'm living on a prayer with a few of them, but at the same time, I'm hopeful that all of these games come out this year.
I've never been so risky with my like release. I usually don't even play in the space of games that I think might not
Back
come
half
out.
of the year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like I would say most of my list is like pretty risky.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we're up to. Oh, no.
But you know what? High risk, high reward. everyone.
So true.
Absolutely, yeah.
So true, Queen.
Oh, this is the sportiest we all sound. All I'm looking for is just a safe season. I hope everyone plays well. I just hope they all do well.
Go
Hope
out there,
no
give
one
110%.
100%. That's really what we're here for. Have a great game.
I do want to say hello to Burry Burry, who's just popped into chat,
Hey.
who missed their ad earlier. So let's go
Burry
through
Burry, I'm
Steph's
so
list,
sorry.
and then as the midpoint break, play the ad
Please.
for Burry
Oh,
Burry.
yeah.
So
Nice.
we'll
Yeah.
go through Steph's list of games here. So Steph, you've got all the 2s.
Yeah.
Hades 2, Dragon's Dogma 2,
Yep.
Wolf Among Us 2,
Definitely coming out.
Rise of the Ronin,
Will be awesome.
Little Nightmares 3.
Solid pick, I think.
I think so too.
Missed opportunity to call it Wolf Still Among Us.
Yeah, that would have
I
really
don't think that
marketed well.
has a
That's
particularly
true.
great
The Wolf Among Us also.
ring to it.
Among Us instead.
I think you've got a really solid list.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hades 2 is one of those games that could be... I mean, I think Elden Ring DLC will score as high as Elden Ring, so it's going to be high 90s. Hades 2, if it comes out this year, I cannot see it not being in the 90s. It's a really solid pick.
But it
Yeah.
is releasing in early access.
Yeah.
But how long will it be in early access?
Probably
for?
like a year or so.
Yeah.
So
So you'll probably not see any
if
Open
we're
Critic
lucky,
scores rolling.
it'll have a full release just before we do our pocket league.
Christmas Day, sir.
Yeah.
It's
Christmas
Day,
Can you
sir.
imagine?
Why, Hades
Can you
2 just
imagine?
came out, sir.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is obviously coming out very soon. We've
Yep.
got a bunch of gameplay we've seen of that game. Wolf Among Us 2, I'm hopeful for because I really loved The Expanse Telltale. They're
Wolf Among Us was
back at it.
fucking amazing. It's my favorite of all those.
Obviously,
Telltale
different
ones.
Telltale team now, but they've established that they can make a Telltale game. This new Telltale team.
I think point is that fantasy series Fable that translated really well into that level of like characters and storytelling and that was cool.
Yep.
That will be good. Damn.
Rise of the Ronin, we only really know a little bit about thanks to the state of play today. We've seen some gameplay now, and it looks good. It's
good.
Yeah. And Little Nightmares 2 is a great reserve in there for when Hades inevitably doesn't end up in your list.
Ouch.
I saw Headless Chooks running around. If we don't have the isolated ad, we could just play the top of the first ad break again. But looks like we're good to go. Buri, thank you for joining us. Thank you for so much support over so many years.
It had 24 months subscribed on Twitch, so different from Patreon, but thank you so much.
Amazing.
One there from the start.
Apologies that we don't get to all of the ads immediately. They're things that we like to put a lot of creative time and energy into, and we don't always have... Even if we have time, we don't necessarily have creative energy when we've been working on other projects for low key. So
no, we're totally going to play it for you again.
Yeah, we have to play it again for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're
Also,
going to.
it's really good, and I'm really funny, and I really want you to see it.
Ruby's going to win Oscars for this shit.
It's worth playing again.
So we want to show it again, and you're going to see it. We're grateful that we were able to finally get around to making your ad. So here it is.
Are you tired of the chair you're sitting in stabbing you in the lower back because of a stray spring? Do you feel like you're in a saw trap when you're just trying to play fork knife? Well, have no fear, the Buri Gamer Chair is here. For too long, the gamer chairs on sale have been lacking in a myriad of legal ways. The average gamer chair is made without the legal protections and materials that the Buri Gamer Chair can provide. But this is all language for the litigious. If you're not a hotshot law guy like me, you have no interest in this stuff. No interest. So I'm gonna speak to you in your language. The gamer language. The Buri Gamer Chair is crafted with precision and designed for those who wish to fight hard on the virtual battlefield and fight even hard for weekend visits with their child. The Buri Gamer Chair is not just a chair, it's your personal stand. Every curve and stitch has been meticulously engineered to make you feel legally secure while you game. The Buri Gamer Chair does not protect the user from committing acts of defamation or verbal targeted harassment over voice chat or live on stream. The user is still legally responsible for their actions while sitting in the Buri Gamer Chair. Made with comfort in mind, the Buri Gamer Chair is justice for more than just us. It comes with customizable lumbar support, adjustable armrests, and a built-in gavel and block to really bring order to any heated gamer moment. The Buri Gamer Chair is more than just a seat. It's a legally binding agreement to play hard. Is that real? That kind of sounds like bullshit. So if you're over the cheap seats and you're ready to sit in style with the knowledge that every piece of material that you're sitting on is fighting for your right to comfort, call 13-BURI-BURI, that's 13-2874-2874 to get your Buri Gamer Chair today.
Well done, so good. I hope you like it.
We love you. We're sorry we're going to get you sued for a broken crappy chair.
I love your instinct to point
Yeah, I love pointing.
a gun. Like you're a lawyer and you're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah. You need protection? I got it for you right here, buddy.
That was Buri's ad. And we're in the middle of our Pocket League picks, or our fantasy drafting for the year for 2024. We've gone through now Will, Ruby, and Steph's games picks for the year. Let's jump into Josh's list. Princess Peach, it's showtime.
I'm so excited.
EA
Girl,
FC
live.
25.
Go live.
EA FC 25, Mars vs. Logistics, Squadron 42, and Frostpunk 2. A lot of us wanted Princess Peach, I think. That was a
feels
good
like
God,
snipe.
so badly.
Yeah.
Like a
Oh
nice,
my
polished,
days.
safe, ninty, high scorer.
Yeah. Ruby, have you any words to say to Josh?
Love you.
I'm very interested in these picks,
I love
Josh,
you too.
because given that the research and the time that you've put into this,
I will say a lot of like I'm bang in the middle of both sides of this snake pick order. So, and I can only do one at a time. As
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot on my list that that was taken by you guys.
Yeah.
Are you having? Sorry, are you having a little whinge? Having a little cry?
No,
Oh, you cry a little piss baby. You can piss your pants and cry.
It's all right. When you come last this year, you'll go first next year. So
Yeah,
that's the
of
benefit.
course.
Like, I mean, I assume why
I'm
you
playing the long
made
game.
the choice
Playing
the long
to just tank.
Also, like honorable mentions, I'll mention a couple
Yeah.
that didn't get on here. I saw someone talk about Black Myth Wukong. I did
Yeah.
have that on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
But I chose these ones over that. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Yeah, I
as
had
well.
that as a reserve as well. Yeah.
Europa, that crazy, pretty
Yeah.
world explorer game.
Yeah.
And Skull and Bone didn't make it in either. It was on my list.
That's
so
confident.
That's so interesting. That was on Ruby's
Skull and
list
Bones.
as well.
I put as
Guys
many
like
lists on my
I had it
games
too,
as
and I'm
possible.
like, I think it could have a solid score based on just a heavy player base to go, this game does what it set out to do well. The people who expect a different game from it are going to shit on it, but they're not going to be the reviewers. They're going to be the people with unfair expectations on it. So I feel like
I guess it just
from what
seems.
played,
I
it
guess
was
it just seems so risky
very
based on how many times it's been delayed and how long
Bury.
it's been delayed.
Oh,
But yeah, I guess. Cool.
Yeah. I'm interested in. I mean, I think we know Princess Peach is going to kick butt.
Yeah.
We all love Mars First Logistics, so
Yep.
we're expecting it to score well.
Yep.
Squadron 42. Hope it comes out. If it does, there's a lot of love
That one's a long shot. I like
for the
Yeah.
working components.
Yeah.
EAFC 25. EAFC 24 is in a middling kind of moment for. It's like having teething issues, I guess, because it's EA's first year without the FIFA partnership. And that has, they make changes every year. Players love some of the changes, don't like some of the changes. Are you expecting 25 to be like this, them to nail it on the second pass at this new brand?
I don't know about nail, but yeah, I think they are in a bit of a transitionary period. They couldn't really do too much innovation. Like all of the onus when it comes to FC24 was getting FIFA out and still making sure they could ship something and also test the water. Like, can they do it without FIFA?
Yeah.
I am not a huge player. I kind of infamously within.
But do you play
Loki and-
FIFA? Do you play the football games? Because we know you're not a huge player IRL, but are you talking about?
I do not play FC, but I do run the Australian FC Esports League. So
There.
Yeah, I know a fair bit about it. I produce a lot of it and I watch a lot of it. And I also have a pretty decent line of pro players. So maybe it's a little bit of an inside.
Inside
inside baseball.
trading.
It also it has a flaw in it, that game, over score. It has like a
Totally, yeah.
78. You can't go below
it's
that.
like your flight sim pick. It feels like
I
a
think-
very technical.
Sky's the limit with that one, but EA.
Hey.
Boo.
The pitch is a limit on.
Oh,
football.
I get it.
I was just going to say, yeah, I think, yeah, they had to try and ship something and sort of test the water and see if it was going to work. They absolutely nailed getting FIFA out of there and
It
still
scored
shipping something.
74 last year, according to Multifish. So that floor
that's all right.
was lower than I thought.
But yeah, I think.
But I think once they innovate some stuff, and I think there'll be some changes in next year's game. Yeah,
We'll
Yeah.
see. We will see.
I think
some
we'll see
foundational
what
work.
we can-
I mean, I hope it plays off for you. Well, actually, I don't, but Gus.
Hello.
Let's go through your games.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones at the Gold Coast. Star Wars Outlaws. Rise of the Golden Idol.
What's that again?
What?
Rise of the Golden
Perfect. Expedition Mud Runners.
Investigative point and click, right?
Stellar Blade.
Stella!
Can't you hear me?
Yeah.
Rise of the Golden Idol is the sequel to the point-and-click murder mystery one, Curse of the Golden Idol, where you had to put parts of the story together.
All the
And it was like
characters
that
are
you would
funky.
see the outcome of the mystery, and you'd have to make the accusations based on kind of filling in the words.
I
It's like if
Yeah.
Return of the Obra Dinn was kind of silly.
Yeah, and it had
Yeah.
really interesting ones that got more complex. Yeah, and that was that reviewed really well. That's my indie that I think will score really highly. Star Wars and Indiana Jones, I'm hoping will do well out of just hype and AAA kind of backing, and that they will have some polish. I actually really think Indiana Jones is going to be a very different kind of game that I'm looking forward to. Machine games have a good reputation. Star Wars Outlaws, the Ubisoft game, looks beautiful, but whether it's a fun game, that scores high. Now that I see it on the scoreboard, I'm a little worried. Expedition Mud Runner, I think will do really fucking well. I think that'll be great. And
I think so too. Those simulation games and all the snow and mud runner ones.
Yeah, and it's a sequel, and they always do well.
Yep.
So I'm set. I am
always do well.
set.
And quickly through mine, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Microsoft Flight Sim 24. I love sequels as well, particularly the 24th edition of a thing. Metaphor Rifantatio. I don't know how to say that without doing that.
I think it's awesome.
Paper Mario 1000 Year Door Remake and Hyperlight Breaker is my sub. And I'm pretty happy with all of those. I think they'll do well. It's like, this is a year where I'm not like hyped about any massive games.
Yeah, there really wasn't when we looked at that list. It's like, okay, I'm going to grab those first 5 huge releases. It's like, they're not really there.
Yeah, I think like, Final Fantasy VII Remake did really well. I expect Rebirth to follow suit.
That was on my list. I really wanted that.
Flight Sim 23 did really well. My concern there is that this is too close. Sorry, it wasn't 23. The last Microsoft Flight Sim relaunch did really well, but this is a little closer to the last sim. It's a shorter gap between sims, so I think critics will be a little harsher on this one, but I still hope it's got enough in it to justify. A Atlas game looks like it's going to be a great version of an Atlas game, so I think it'll do well. Paper Mario people love. I thought it would do well based on seeing Ruby, your Super Mario RPG remake playthrough, and it being such a solid remake.
Dude,
so.
I think Paper Mario is going to do amazing.
Yeah,
I'm really happy for you that you chose it.
I'm so happy for you.
Yep, I'm so happy for you.
Which makes me sad that I think all those games will probably come out. Metaphor, I'm a little worried about. Hyperlight Breaker is actually the game I'm most excited to play on that list, and it's only in my reserve. But
a lot of people raging in the chat. They're like, you won't even play any of the games on your list.
That's not the point.
I
That's
know,
not the point.
which is so true, but that's not the point of what this is.
I will play them all and talk about them all what we've been playing. How about that? And then
How about that's the challenge? We have to play all of these
I like
games.
that. And then I will submit an official score to OpenCritic of 100 for each of them.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, all those games.
I was going to say, I was surprised that Steph didn't pick the Destiny expansion that's coming.
Well, I feel like I'm scared now of MMO expansions because there's Dawn Trail coming out this year as well, and I feel like they feel like too broad and too much of a...
What's Dawn Trail? Is that Elder Scrolls?
The Final Fantasy 14.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is Elder Scrolls bringing one out this year?
Yes. They are.
So the Final Shape, my thing was like, the Final Shape is probably good because Lightfall reviewed quite badly. It's like all the good stuff was being reserved for this one. But then I'm like, are people going to be holding on to their feelings about the direction of Destiny 2 from Lightfall and carrying that into their reviews for the Final Shape? And I don't know. It all just feels too risky.
Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road is the expansion coming up for that as well. So
for Elder Scrolls,
Yep.
I also had Donkey Kong versus Mario.
That's in like a week or so that comes
so
out.
excited,
Previews are like, it's the same game it was good, but limited. So I think that's probably why no one picked it. I think it's probably a bit too...
We haven't finished.
Counter picks.
We need to do our counter picks, and
Let's blast through this.
we're going to do them in order. So just to establish a couple of rules. So the counter pick is each of us are going to pick a game on someone else's. We can't pick our own. Someone else's list that we think will score the worst for them. And at the end of all of the tallying, if that worst scoring game for them was a 70 and we correctly counter pick it, we get 30 points added to our score. So it's the other part of the total 100 score will get added to our tally. No, two people can't pick the same game. So people can pick from the same person, but two people can't pick the same game. So we can't all go that, like, I'm just picking a game. I'll say Animal Well is going to be the worst, and I picked it just to not pick anything bad. But
I was going to say, and for context, we're not going, this game is going to score poorly. It might be an 83, and all their other games are really good. So this isn't trying to shit on a game or think that hope something does poorly. It's just in the context of that list that they have there.
Absolutely. Will, you're first up for counter picking. What are you targeting?
And I've been staring at this list the longest, just in front of me, and it is difficult.
It's tough, yeah.
Like,
I've got one.
That's great.
I'm hoping it doesn't get done. But
What is it?
No, that's not how this works. Fuck's sake.
Because I do think, like, despite everyone kind of being like, it's hard to pick games and it feels like there's not much, I think everyone's got, like, all the games seem like they're going to do well, so I do think for all of them it's the case of which is going to get 80.
Yeah, it's 8 golf
this year.
8 across the board.
Which is very difficult. So, for me, my pick is going to go to a reserve, which we can do, because they will be pulled up.
You can do, yep.
If it might go to nothing, but my confidence in Wolf Among Us 2 is low, so I'm going to put mine on Little Nightmares 3. I think it's very good, but I think third time round it may be
Oh yeah,
just a little
sequel's
bit low.
good, but the third one's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All
Interesting.
That's my pick.
Ruby,
All right.
counter pick it.
I had one, and then I was like, oh, but is it going to do the worst out of all of them? And that's what's got me.
Well, that's how it works.
Yeah, but I forgot. So, oh, it's a toughie, isn't it? I just love video games.
This isn't shitting on one.
I know. I think I'm gonna stick with what I was gonna do in the first place, and I think I'm gonna go with EAFC 25.
Fuck, that was mine.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a good
I
choice.
think it sells, like, obviously those games sell well, but do they rate well? I don't know.
Yeah.
We're no longer friends.
I think that had a
That's
big
okay.
that one
I
had a
love
big
you.
target on it. Yeah. Steph.
I'm going to choose Star Wars Outlaws from Gus's list.
I was gonna pick that. Shoshua.
I'm going to pick Microsoft Flight Sim 24.
Oh,
What?
That's ballsy.
they might fuck it up.
They might fuck it up.
Are you?
Who are
How does your
Well, I
mind
don't-
work?
I don't think Metaphor's coming out, so
Ooh.
Hyperlike's going to go up there. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so excited for this.
Gus.
Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah, I assumed someone would pick that.
I think it
I
looked
think
great.
you're right.
There's a chance it's mildly derivative, I think. And I think
Derivative.
I think it's not, as you said, we've been to feudal Japan before,
But not in this way.
but not in this way.
Not in this way.
But this is a good way, Steph. Is it a
I
good
think
way?
it could have really challenging combat.
Am I
And
allowed
there's
to?
a-
Am I
there's a
allowed to look
new-
up Broken Roads quickly?
There's a new creature that's really long.
I just
want
want to see it so I remember which one it is.
Broken Roads has a lot, and again, Aussie
Is
developer.
that allowed? I just want to remind myself which game it is.
I feel like
Can-
it's
I'm gonna put it on Broken Roads. I literally just looked at a frame of it, right?
Yeah, Broken Roads.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a swing as a game. I think they're
No, but
going
I-
for something ambitious.
I
and
think it
yeah,
actually
if they-
looks really good, but next to Pacific Drive replaced.
Totally. Yeah.
Like I love every game on your list, Will.
Let me look at Broken Roads. Peggy 14. Yeah, I'm gonna put that down.
I was ready for 14. There's gonna be shit.
Is that everyone?
That's everyone.
That's everyone.
Well done. Okay, so we've that's everything.
Ruby, you avoided the counter pick.
Congratulations.
Not that that means anything. For
Everyone's just. It
doesn't benefit you,
thinks
but
all
it
my
means we
games
have
are gonna
hope.
do amazingly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
potentially.
We know.
And to be clear, if you counterpick a game that doesn't come out, then you don't get that counterpick score.
You don't get 100 points.
You can't get a score because it didn't come out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
but
get
the
a
other
score.
side of 0 is 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I went for high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You
big
got some good
time.
ones. There
it.
you go. I think we've all got good lists. I think
This
we've
is
all
great. This is
we've
gonna
all
be
got a
fun.
shot.
This is gonna
We've
be
all
fun.
got a shot for
Oh,
sure.
God.
I mean, Steph has Hades too, and then some weird stuff. But like, it's still
What's
all.
weird about my list?
No, it was just like it's less. I guess less history, less kind of like. I don't know. They're just a bit riskier.
Talk
Yeah.
about it on the
That's a
drive
risky
home.
one.
Run
Yeah,
the
yeah.
card. Let's see the end of Pocket League.
Another counter picks. No, that is that segment. So we'll be tracking the Pocket League throughout 2024 and keeping an eye on scores as they come through. But for now, we're going to have a little ad break with more Back Pocket coming up right after this.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've got my fingers crossed for just a great year of games. And it starts right now. First up, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It is an Arkham spin-off developed by Rocksteady where the squad has been recruited to fight for the good guys. And yes, you can play as Harley Quinn. If a refreshed and updated version of Persona 3 was on your wishlist, we'll go ahead and add that baby to cart because it's yours with Persona 3 Reload. There is a console release for Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. It's a single-player story adventure set in the League universe, with one Steam reviewer describing it as My Neighbor Totoro Norse Edition, which is just a lovely image. Also out is One Punch Man World. Based on the popular anime, I assume this is about someone who takes out the whole world with just one punch. Man, 2-on-2 fighter Jujutsu Kaisen invites you to Jujutsu with a friend against your enemies. Well, that's it. That's all the games for this week. I gotta say, it's good to be back. Pocket.
On this episode, I'll be talking about my absolute favourite animal, the wombat. It's a common misconception that wombats are slow. They can actually safely run in school zones between the hours of 8 and 9:30 am and 2:30 and 4 pm on all school days. The bottom of a wombat is incredibly strong. It is made up of cartilage, fat, skin, and fur, and they will use it to actually plug up their burrows, stopping predators from entering and also protecting the softer parts of their bodies. It is speculated that a wombat's poo is cubed as a means of marking its territory. As wombats live in burrows and are often seen on slope surfaces such as hills, having a cubed poo prevents the poo from rolling down the hill or into their burrows.
Dump days. Listen, bin chickens are the most underrated bird.
Dump days is what I just did on the couch when the lady stuck her head through the bathroom door. Thank you, Dump Days.
Hey, Will, what do you think about Dump Days?
Oh, Dump Days, he's really cool. He does great art and stuff, but I do sometimes wonder what's the deal with the ibises? Is that like an obsession thing? Should he see someone about that? I'm not too sure about that guy.
Dump Days, hero of the dumpster, ibis power.
They are tall, they are slender, they make a nice honking noise, and Dump Days knows this and celebrates them daily.
That show is absolute garbage.
Oh no, it's rubbish.
I want to watch more.
Yeah, me too.
The broad wings of a dump day.
And the Pegasus bird.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. A big thank
Can
you
we go back
to
to the ad break, please?
None of
I can't do that?
No.
I mean, you can and you did.
But you shouldn't.
But should you?
Sometimes I feel like I'm silenced in a place that's supposed to feel so safe. Welcome back to the show. Big thank you to Dolphin Pants for all that knowledge about wombats.
That was wonderful.
I learned something new with everything you said. And then it ended. And then it ended.
It sounded like the lecturer had more to say. Their poos are square. They don't roll off
The bell
their row.
rings.
And that
Recess.
rocked to me. I
You've
thought
also
that was
set
very
yourself
funny.
up to make more of those. We expect,
Absolutely, yeah,
we
of
expect
course.
more words from Dolphin Pants and
I
more
want to know about the
lessons to learn.
poos of every
Yeah.
animal in this country,
I want to
including
learn
humans.
everything ever from Dolphin Pants.
Yeah.
And shouts out to Dump Days. We saw the little Dump Days animation, which is very
Love
cute.
it. Yeah. Another animated ad coming shortly, potentially next week.
Yes.
So keep your eyes on
If
this
you
channel.
can
Amazing.
tear yourself away from adding more.
I keep
more,
adding
more,
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 and
more,
more, and
more,
more. I
more.
like to animate things.
And we saw gameplay. What's coming out? Very exciting.
Yep.
Before we move on, Ruby, sorry to hijack. There is something coming out tomorrow, isn't there?
No. Yeah. The freaking podcast, baby. We got a new episode of the podcast coming. I had a chat with my friend Dee Fidge, who is a comedy writer. She's very funny, very nice. The only game that she plays is The Sims. And that's what we talked about. It's a very fun app. I love The Sims. I love talking about The Sims. I can't get enough of it. That episode's coming out tomorrow. And then the bonus episode's coming out on the Patreon.
A particular favourite of mine so far. Out of all the bonus eps you've done so far, I very much enjoyed this one. So do make sure you get your ears around this one. It was wild. I wouldn't even spoil it. I'd just say...
Let me tell you, it's a goodie, and it also went so badly in the best way.
Yeah, it was great.
The tease of it in the episode is gold. And the whole episode is gold. You're obviously very funny. Having someone that can match your like wit next to you as well, like it was just
good back and forth.
It was almost more callbacks to jokes from 5 minutes ago. It just snowballed. It was
Like,
amazing.
remember this?
And if you're at the gold patronage, you get access to it.
Yeah, or the silver at the end of the month.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But
So-
it was a segue from gold.
It's gonna be groovy, baby.
Austin Powers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Love it. Good reference.
Still good.
Can we do one more little bit of housekeeping before we move to the segment? Sorry to take that away from you.
Don't
there, Ruby.
apologise.
TJ Growler and a bunch of people are talking about the key changes in our ad breaks. We're trying new things.
Just give it a break, all right?
By next week it'll be the key.
Yeah.
We didn't go in there and pitch shift anything. It's a different part of the same song.
We also make
We're
these
trying to
changes.
introduce you to culture.
We make these changes because we like to make changes, and we do it. We're like, no one will notice, no one will care, and the chat's like, what are you doing, changing the key of the song? Stuff has to change. Change is good.
Stuff has to change, and also we have to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it all stays
Look,
the same all the time.
It's that, or it's the takeover episode, and all the pitch will change every second that it's on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Do you want that? No.
I mean,
So
you might.
learn
You
to
might.
accept change. Life is good when it changes, and so are lessons about life.
Yeah. Or maybe this is just a whole bit to make you more invested in the show and question everything.
You'll be back next week to see what key they're in, won't you?
Life is
It went
funny like
over
that.
everyone's head, Gus. Do it again.
So,
She's got it.
Arbitrary change is a nightmare.
no, God,
Learn
did
to
you want to say
embrace.
something?
No. He
Interesting.
threw you a pretty sick segue, but you just Tobleroned right through it.
Not announcing a segment. It just appears.
I like to think that I don't have to say anything at all for things to go my way. Game of Life, baby, where we tell you what you don't need to hear, but we think that you do. This one is sponsored by Dump Days.
Welcome back.
Thank you. From Dump Days, we look at one of your comics and we read it out and laugh.
I chose an excellent time to start eating chocolate.
Yeah.
Let's preface this one with we can't remember if we showed it on the show because we've definitely seen it in creative.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Dump Days is always putting great stuff in creative. That's where you can find it. But here is a great comic from Dump Days.
Let's describe it the classic way that we liked it with the comic. A good 4-panel here.
Yep.
Means you got a chance for a little twist at the end. We're opening there with an Ibis, a bin chicken as many call them, sitting on a pile of trash on a laptop. Let's move across to panel number 2 where the text reads in a speech bubble, a classic comic book method of
too much
getting...
description.
Because I can't read it. I can't see it. I was hoping someone would read it
I
out loud.
can't see it either.
It says, ugh, not again. And there's some frustration.
Interesting. Where's that going to go? Well, let's move down to the 3rd panel. In which case, the Ibis was looking up saying, more spam?
Bit of an eye roll.
Bit of an eye roll thinking, okay, spam email. Must be it, spam email. But then, of course, that all-important 4th panel sneaks up on you there. And Ruby, what are we seeing?
Spam.
Now, the issue that I take with this comic
Oh,
is...
God. We review them as well.
He's critiquing it.
Spam is designed to live in a can for many, many years without spoiling. Why would a dump truck full of spam be getting delivered to the waste?
It's from the 20s.
They're empty.
Are they?
It's from the 20s. They're out of date.
Yeah, maybe it's empty cans.
Oh, or the factory had a whole bunch that went off. And they
Bad
had to throw them.
batch.
It's a bad batch.
Bad batch.
Yeah.
Improperly
Or maybe-
sealed.
Maybe I live
Coming
in
February.
the dumpster and ordered a whole bunch of it.
There's just so many scenarios in which the spam could be there.
You're right. I jumped to conclusions.
You did. I would say too quick to launch criticism at this fine piece of art.
Game of Life Sting.
Thank you, Dump Days. Love your work. So, did we already do the sting?
Yeah.
The wheels are falling on.
I don't want to say the name of this segment once.
Good.
Game of Life.
Damn it.
Got him. Let's go with the most knowledgeable person on the couch first.
Yeah.
So, my game of life is...
Steph.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Okay.
Solidarity.
Yeah.
Okay, so my game of life, I feel like is going to sound kind of bro-y, but like stick with me to the end.
Okay.
Because like in my recent pole dancing journey to get super strong, I bought a pull-up bar. Which is like...
I heard about
She
this.
wasn't here.
Yeah.
She was away.
She was away
did you
from
say
that
pull-up
episode.
bar?
I did.
Was that
Oh,
your game?
no.
I gave you heaps of credit.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I didn't describe it well, though.
Ali
Please go ahead.
Ali McLean was here, and we talked about door gyms. You got a door, you got a gym.
That's why the guns are out. Please go ahead. I didn't do it justice.
We'd like your perspective on...
Come back to me. I'll choose something else.
No, I didn't do it
we wanna
justice.
hear this.
Your perspective is more interesting because I was
Peter
like,
walked past
I
and was like, I'll do a push it up.
no,
and
no,
walks
no, no, no.
off.
I go past it and I hang off it. Is what I said.
That's what I was going to say.
Damn it! Fuck.
So what do you
So
do with it?
my thing is that like I bought it. I cannot do a pull up on it. I'm hoping one day I can. I have a big rubber band that like takes your weight off so that you can try and pull yourself up.
Yeah.
But like I forgot as an adult that you don't like. There's certain things you do when you're a kid and movements and stuff that you don't do anymore. And one of them is hanging off things.
Have you done monkey bars at a playground?
Like not for I can't remember what last
That's what I
time.
mean. Monkey bars was something that you could just go back and forth on as a kid. And I took my niece and nephew. I was like, I'll go too. I got barely halfway across. I was like, I can't do this.
they're
I'm
hard
89
now.
kilos.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
I think I tried to do one at like we did Tough Mudder one year many years ago, and I got 2 across and then just fell down because I didn't have the grip.
And
strength.
those went up and they were rough.
Yeah, it was fucked. But like every morning, every night, and multiple times throughout the day, like I just hang on it for 30 seconds, and I can feel the vertebrae in my spine just going.
My
And
favorite.
it is the most satisfying feeling, and I think it's really good for you, and I think it's worth getting, even though it seems like a dumb like gym bro thing.
You
Like,
don't need to pull up. You can
you
just
don't
hang.
need to pull up, but also I can do heaps of chin ups. They're much easier, and so then I feel like a gym bro.
Because then you can go wider with chin-ups, though. That's like a good way to incrementally like get a little bit stronger each
And the
time.
way they work is it's got the bar on one side, and then it's got these 2 little hooks that hook onto the top of the door frame. So like it kind of locks in.
Now we're
and then-
turning into the territory I went on, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
more
Peter
about the
talked about
frame stability.
Right.
That was kind of what I was interested in.
Well, there's your tip.
my
live on-
my favorite thing that happens with you and the bar is that because my door is across the corridor from the door that the bar is on, is that I'll be like playing games and I'll turn around and you'll be hanging and you'll be like, hey.
Do you walk past and just go like, just like,
I'm like, hello.
Well, sometimes I swing a little bit on it, and I feel
Yeah.
like a trapeze artist.
Hi. You couldn't do that on a wooden frame, but we got metal frames, so it kicks ass in brick.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
you live in the same house?
Yep.
You're a married couple?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Ever had the surprise nude swing? Just gone like, hey! Just a first shower?
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
If you can't nude swing in your own house, what's the
I'm
point of
more
living?
surprised they come out and they're like, Jesus, and you're like,
But we already
"Hello."
had the swing, so it was like,
yeah.
this was addition. So too much?
Just hang, also
Why do you have
try
a
monkey
mortgage?
bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
Yeah. Go
I
Sam.
love that we got 2 dips out of that one game of life.
I don't do these.
Yes, you do.
You do now, baby.
Do you have
You
one?
do.
I don't
You've
have
done
one. I
them
didn't-
before.
That's all right.
No,
We'll think
I
of one by the
haven't.
time we get to
All
the
right.
end of this.
All right, never mind.
Ready?
Pete.
I wrote in the document. I wrote nail gun, and that is
Go on.
and that is because I bought a nail gun.
Okay.
And it is one of the more exhilarating tools that you can wield.
It's a little shock every time.
It feels like you're holding your own death in your hands. It's terrifying, and it makes you feel powerful, and you can build shit really quickly with it.
Did you get a fright the first time you did it? Like you hook it up, it's the air. Oh, like is it a?
It's a battery powered one.
Ah, okay,
yeah, so it's
right.
not the air compression. But it. I was like, I tested it in the garage before I went anywhere near the house, and got used to it. But yeah, I did a bit of like structural framing in the house, so I was like, this is going to take me forever and be super hard if I have to like hand hammer nails
Or
through
drill-
all this structural stuff,
or screw by pre-drilling and
pilot
screwing,
holes
yeah,
and then
yeah.
drill it in. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and I'll take it back if I can't handle it. And now I'm looking for things to build.
Learn to handle your nails.
I'm looking for things to build. The smallest box of nails I could buy was I think I bought 3,000 nails and I used 300. So I'm good to go. Give me a call. I'll come around. We'll build a deck.
Question.
Yes.
Have you? Also, we need to build something, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, let's do it. Have you? Because the way a nail gun works is you press it against the timber, and then you pull the trigger, and it straight. There's no distance. It's not like a gun. You're firing
Yes,
it straight
totally,
into.
totally, yeah.
Can you / have you just done a little one where you've sort of
No. Actually, I don't think I'm
doesn't
pretty
activate.
sure the one I have is, and they probably all have the safety feature, is that it won't fire if there's not pressure against.
So did you
Oh,
take
so
a
you
hand?
can't use it as
So
a
you have
projectile
to-
weapon.
So Home
Yeah.
Alone taught us, well, that it doesn't, or many of those films from the 80s taught us that a nail gun, I think Happy Gilmore in particular, teaches us that thunk, you can fire a nail. That's
You
not
would
how
be
they
able
work.
to with an air compressed one, probably. Like an old
I'm
school
sure
one.
even
like it
old
would have
school,
been.
yes.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
those now
They
have
would
it.
now, but
Yeah.
yeah, the one that's in Happy Gilmore, I'm sure you could fire.
I like that your Game of Life tip is actually, hey, nail gun technology has improved that you don't need a compressor and all this shit.
Yeah.
You can just buy one that, a Ryobi and get out there and get nailing.
I loved
was fun.
too that because we've been working on a cupboard in our house, which is the most boring thing ever, but we have no cupboards. So that's what Peter was building under the stairs, Harry Potter cupboard. Cool. And Peter's
He was down there too.
Peter's dad
Whoa.
came to help him, and then your sister messaged us afterwards and was like,
I'll read the message. I'll read the message.
Wait, so
It's so
your
cute.
dad came around to help and your sister wasn't there?
no,
Correct, but my dad came up to help me put the walls on because it was. Let's not bore people
Yeah, no,
with
no,
details.
don't finish that sentence. I'm already out.
We put the walls up, and he was there all day, and it was amazing. We put the roof and the walls on, and then he went to dinner with my sister.
good bonding time.
Yeah.
It was great. And then she texted me while they were having dinner, and she had the following to say. She started with, "Where's my sister's text message?"
He's stalling.
Okay. She sent 7:36. Dad is fangirling over your tools. He has not stopped talking about them. And I said, ha ha ha. And then she said, the conversation will change, but then he'll mention another tool you have.
I love that. It'll be like your family's trying to segue away
Yeah,
from
they're trying to
it.
move
They're
on.
like-
They're all turning away from him, and he's like, do you see the table saw?
So he's like, oh, I just forgot about the nail gun.
Damn it, how do I work this into the conversation?
It was very cute.
All right. Buy a nail gun, use responsibly. I like it.
Yeah.
That's delightful. And I feel like it makes sense to go on to my one because Pete was the only one who wrote something because this was kind of like we might do the segment, we might not. So you wrote something, and I thought it'd be funny to write something related to it completely after. So originally, my idea was just real gun, and it was the suggestion to just buy a real gun.
That's left over from last
That
year.
is left over from last time, but probably still fits. But also, maybe not, because I thought real gun is kind of not really advice or anything. It's kind of
You don't have to walk this back. It's terrible advice.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Hearing.
My real answer is get violent in a non-violent way, and it's related
Interesting.
to real gun because I went to a hens party a while ago
wow.
where
That's not where I thought the story
I
was
love
going.
where this is
Yeah.
going.
Or is it?
I went to a hens party a while ago. Did I scare you? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
The thought
Gus
of
is like,
multiple women
Gus
in a room
hates
together
hens.
is really scary to him.
Oh, not all together.
And one of them's getting married. Oh my god!
The straws are shaped like penises.
Oh, there's a cake in its cock.
Oh, I'm so thirsty. Oh, God.
So,
There's a cake in its cock.
and so
Oh, thank God the police here. Oh, put your clothes back on.
Wait, why is he getting naked? And why does he look so good? Anywho, I was at this hen's party, and part of what we did was we went to a shooting range, and we all shot rifles at targets, and it was absolutely delightful. And I felt in that moment, shooting those rifles, a sense of zen. I felt so calm because all I had to do was sit there, take aim, and fire.
Why is it
that
me?
out at-
Why is it
Yeah,
me?
I mean-
You chose a target then, didn't you?
You went over here.
Was that out at Homebush?
It was insane. It was
insane.
in St. Mary's or St. Ives.
Yeah.
Up, it was
I think
up-
it was in St. Ives.
It was up away.
Kevin's backyard
it was Saint
shooting range.
something.
Yeah.
Saint something, right? And it was bloody delightful. And
I
then
don't think you could fire a gun in Australia without a license, even
Not
at a shooting range.
Yeah, no, you can go to a
range.
shooting range. And,
Can you?
And,
It's
yeah,
not. It's
it
not
is
like
a controlled space.
It's not like the place that we went to in the States. It's more
No, I know, but
official.
I thought like since the frickin' noughties, you couldn't
is
go to a
St.
shooting
Mary's,
range
yeah.
without a
No, you can.
license. But yeah,
No, we did it for my brother's box one.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's Queensland.
It is absolute. It is just so. And you know what? If that doesn't tickle your fancy, if you're not a gun person, that is so fine, because there's also smash rooms. And at a smash room,
yeah.
you can go to a smash room and just go crazy on shit. And it's the best way to just let out, because I'm not a very angry person, and I may seem like, oh, Ruby, she's so crazy. But ultimately, I don't get very angry often, and when I do, I don't really release it, because I don't want people to think bad of me.
No, you pent it up. It's healthy.
Exactly. So I bottle it up, and that's really bad for me. And I found that doing activities that kind of let me be violent, so I bottle it up and then I let it go free in
Smash
a
that
really
bottle.
scary way, helps a lot. I was also at an arcade the other day and got really, really angry about something while I was there.
Forgot you weren't in a
and-
smash room and
and I just went at the claw machine. No, there was a game there that it's like half a basketball, and then inside the game you have to hit the basketball, and it'll shoot air to these little basketballs and make them go in the hoop.
oh yeah, okay.
Does
cool.
that make sense?
Yeah.
So what was really
Yeah.
nice there in that moment was I wasn't focusing
ball,
on
yeah,
getting
we know.
things in the hoop. I was just focusing on beating that ball to a pulp.
Yeah, whose face was on the ball?
Not telling.
Have you ever considered just like dancing it out?
Yeah.
You know, just dance your feelings.
I've
You should
thought
hit shit
about
if you want
it.
to.
But I also like, I don't know, sometimes you just got to really go for it, but you don't want to hurt nobody.
It's your passion.
I
This
dance
is
for
all
happy.
fun. I have like a serious counter because I think there's definitely something in how people need to like let their aggression or express themselves like that. I feel it's weird. I do the opposite. I need to have control over stuff. I know it sounds like I'm making it worse, but like I will go into neat, clean. Like I will happily clean my house for a day if I have like pent up energy and aggression, and like I have to recreate order to feel better about like having that pent up stuff. I'm sure I would still get something out of firing a gun or punching a ball.
Well, firing
but it's
a
like
gun
weird
is
that
all
I don't
about
think to
control.
go there. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
It's all about control.
Yeah, no, I just think
You're
yeah,
in control.
I'm sure I'd get something
You know
out of
what I
that.
mean?
I just don't do that, and so maybe,
Yeah.
that'd be an interesting version to experiment with.
Yeah.
Guns,
Have you ever
you
gone
say.
shooting?
Yeah.
Huh?
You ever gone shooting?
I have. Yes.
It's fun.
Oh,
Have you ever tried screaming into a pillow?
that's how I sleep, Peter. Give it a cry. Give it a cry.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, go for it.
Not here.
Yeah.
Things will happen. I'll say things I can't. Cry into the nuts.
But yeah, that's my advice.
Nice.
Gus,
Okay.
how about you?
If Josh has got one, I'll be the second to finish up with. Have you ever been making dinner? And
You're presenting us with a scenario.
you get like, I don't know,
And
a
your
bag
coffee butter just won't.
It's a cooking one. You get like a bag of, I don't know, Latina fresh pasta or whatever the brand is or whatever, and you throw that in the boiling water, you salt that, you start getting your sauce ready, all that kind of stuff. Check on the pasta.
But not too much salt.
Yeah,
Not too much salt. You check on the pasta, still a bit to go there. Keep working on your sauce. It's like, yeah, okay, sauce is pretty much ready. Check on the pasta, a little bit
it's
to go
overdone.
there. It's, no,
And
it's
just-
still
and
going.
just-
Still going.
Takes
And
a
just
while.
make it black with pepper.
Takes a while. Haven't got to the pepper stage yet because
Okay.
the pasta's
not done
You go
yet.
back to the sauce, get everything out, set the table, pour the wine, glug glug, throw one back. Pasta's still going. I'm like, man, pasta takes a while to cook.
What did you do?
I made my own. I became one of those people with a pasta
my God, I
rolling
remember.
machine.
Oh, you're
And I
never gonna
make
use
her
that again.
The freshest pasta you've ever had. Pasta maker thing, he'll tell you about it. You're damn right I will. I thought these were expensive. $28. I bought a pasta roller.
But why would it be expensive? It's like the simplest tool ever.
There it is. That's my pasta roller.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's lovely.
That's a lovely looking pasta
I've seen them
roller.
before.
It's really
This is
cute.
me rolling out some sheets. It is such a wonderful experience. I really thought that like making pasta was a painful thing. Do you know the trick? You don't have to do
Be
once
single.
You make a
No,
noodles-
okay, yeah.
It's a good group activity. You don't have to do. You don't. Why is that funny? You don't have to
Just the
do
way
the
you said it,
drying
sorry.
it on the racks thing. In
Yeah.
fact, don't dry your pasta. That's my tip. Make your pasta fresh.
Keep it wet.
Make your ravioli
Eat
like
it.
this, and then bang, straight in that water. Oh,
Bang.
Peter, you're talking like minutes later.
look at that.
You've got the freshest
Look at
pasta.
the photos.
What do you call
that's
this?
amazing.
This is a ravioli. This one. I've gone
I know
for
it's a ravioli, but what do you call the
Barbatelle.
dish?
the dish is Sadagus. Loliagus. Pasta for uno.
A fettuccine.
Some fettuccine here. Oh my word, the fettuccine, you just can't throw enough.
It looks good.
It's so
Can I have
good.
some?
You can. I'd happily make you some. It's
Thank
like,
you.
and it does not take as long as you think. The only thing is you got to get a bit of a workout with the dough at the start. 30 minutes once you make the dough, it just has to rest. And then bang, you are winding that thing out and throwing it in the water, and it's done in like less than 2 minutes. And my God, is it good. I've gone back to it 3 times. I've made 3 different pasta dishes. I've done my fettuccine. I've done my ravioli. I've done my just basic spaghetti.
How did you roll this little spaghetti?
The spaghetti, there's 2 versions of the cutter.
Oh, the
one-
cutter cuts the...
So that's how it works. You take the dough
Yep.
and you roll it into a sheet. You roll
Yep.
it into a sheet. You roll it into a sheet, going finer each time, and then you add on the slicer
cutter, yeah.
once through that. Oh, the
Lovely.
process is just so
Lovely.
satisfying. Watching those things come through is like just in one
Strands
fell.
of angel hair.
Oh well, you don't go that.
You wouldn't go that
Yeah,
far, you
yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah, yeah. But make it your own pasta.
Number 5, Barilla.
Oh. Yeah. Potre persone o uno.
Uno. Ding, ding, ding,
There it
ding,
is.
ding.
They are good. They're fun.
I'm in
Never,
Ecco
never wash it with water. You can't wash them. That's the thing. Can't get them wet. They're like gremlins. Anyway, I'm done. Josh?
I can't top that, but Will has one, yeah.
Will's got one.
Yes, hell yeah.
It's very basic. If you have empty boxes in your house, get rid of them. Just get rid of them. As someone who has a lot of merchandise and action
yeah.
figures and stuff,
Yeah.
the things out of the box, get rid of the box.
That's great.
Yeah.
I've started doing that too.
advice.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. I know, and like, obviously, also in the gaming world, there's lots of console boxes that you're probably hanging on to.
It looks
You
like a
don't need 'em.
command.
It's
Will,
just-
get rid of your boxes.
Narcotics is like, but not for expensive electronics.
Is that an offer? He will get rid of your boxes?
Yeah. Don't tell me you got one.
I had.
So actually, now that you've said that, it actually feels really targeted because there's an entire. I did just move a bunch more stuff into my place, but there is an entire wall of my apartment which is multiple boxes. Some of them are big moving boxes, some of them are small. But yeah, it's not good.
Someone pointed out recently to me phone boxes. It's like, you have one, don't you? It's like, fuck, I do. I have my iPhone 14 Pro box because it feels
Yeah, but what
so
if I gotta-
good when you got it.
Yeah.
You're like, it's such a lovely piece of industrial packaging.
What if you
I-
got to take it back? In the box.
I keep mine for like
Take it in the
I
box.
keep mine for like
Take it in a
phone box. I'll keep for a year.
dog poo bag.
But everything else I get rid
You'll
of.
hate
Doesn't make
me.
a difference.
It's you shouldn't need to keep
The
it for
girl
a
at the
year.
retail store will hate me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so
It's
I
a
shouldn't
phone
need to.
box for some reason. It comes out, slides out, even whatever
I guess
brand.
if I
it is.
need to send it back within the first couple of weeks or whatever, then I've got.
But they'll
it's
take it back without the box. Like if
Yeah.
if you need to send it back and it's broken, you just wrap that thing
Yeah,
up and send
totally.
it back.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like a weird.
But it's a
reflex
weird
thing.
one, and someone was talking to me the other day. They're like, "You have one." It was like the tweet or whatever.
No,
It was
just
like,
the amount
"Yeah,
of-
throw out your phone box because you have one, don't
The
you?"
amount of
Damn it.
packaging makes me so. That's the only thing that makes me want to go to a Smash room is packaging, especially those like blister pack things.
Yeah, fuck them.
If you
But
still
yeah,
live at
boxes, I
home,
get rid of them.
keep your boxes. There's something delightful about keeping boxes. I had my original Xbox box forever.
I
it
still have
had
my Super
Transworld Surf on the back and Project Gotham, and like it was like
Fusion Frenzy.
it was just like the coolest thing in my whole room.
I have my Super
And-
Nintendo Mario All Stars combined.
I also had a
box
stuffed
at home.
giraffe, so that was also sick.
It's just to
Peter, keep your boxes.
it's-
only if you've got like ample space. You do not need boxes.
Yeah.
Get rid of them. However, I understand the sentimental attachment, but get rid of them.
Yeah.
It stresses me out. It makes me so happy to get rid of packaging.
That's the biggest thing. Like, obviously, on my side of things, I've got a lot of kind of on the premium end of action figures and stuff where the boxes come very much like a foam box. They're displayed nicely and all the bits. But once it's out of the box, I put the pieces into another little baggie somewhere else, and then they go in a room. And basically, if it's out of sight, it doesn't exist to you. So why
Small
keep
tip.
it? Yeah.
If you buy something, or you've gone and picked it up from an Oz Post or whatever, and you come home, open it in the car.
Yep.
Take it with you and throw the packaging out in your bin before you get into your house. It's actually brilliant. You're like,
100%.
I don't need any of this. You take out the 6 things, throw all. It doesn't have to go upstairs into a bin, back downstairs into a bin. I'm assuming you have stairs and
bins.
But yeah, do that and just cut out the middleman, bin.
And make sure that you open it in a bar Joe has been given a premium thing way. Like rip it apart because then you can't keep it. Just get rid of it.
Yeah,
he ruined a lot of boxes.
That's the way I've learnt. So,
that's a good way. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And Josh,
good tip. Good tip.
I'm not writing.
And Josh, what's your life-changing?
What do you got for us?
Actually, I do have one.
Oh!
And I thought of it just now.
Hell yes.
So you know it's good.
You might have even seen the realization hit my face.
I did.
Subscribe to the Back Pocket Patreon at Gold tier so you can watch the post show.
Well done, sir.
He's a businessman, Joshua.
Now that's what I call some good
That's his
advice.
business.
I'm a Patreon man. Will we get on the Patreon Gold tier? That's a good bit of advice, Josh. Well done. There it is. That was Ruby. What was that segment called?
She won't say it.
She won't say it.
Milkshake.
That was
Game
the
of Life.
Back Pocket Game of Life, son of a bitch. And that was our first episode back for 2024. How are we all feeling?
Good. It's exciting to be back.
Good.
I like
Are we
it.
energized
I
and
missed
exhausted
this.
at the same time?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's where we should be at this point, I think. Delightful to all be back here on the couch. It's delightful to have you guys watching here at home. Thank you so much for those who have been supporting the show continually over the break. We, again, thank Nitrotex for running Pocket Pals, keeping the channel alive. We got our Baldur's Gate stream in as well just before we came back. So you can go and watch that one. Cursed stream.
Yeah.
Heaps of
It
fun.
went
You
pretty
saw it
well.
on the social. But again, thank you to you guys for tuning in tonight. Stick with us for the whole year. We're back for another year. We've got heaps of plans. We've got lots of guests. We've got lots of games. And a lot of games we're going to be playing both here in the studio and as video games because that's what we like to talk about. But if you need to get links to any of those things, you can head to backpocket.gg and get links to all our socials. We are now streaming live here on Twitch, here on YouTube, here on TikTok. We just thought, fine, let's put a camera up and put it on TikTok. So you will get a weird extra camera that shows you a kind of behind the scenes thing. During the ad breaks, you can see what we do. We get up and run around. It's so interesting. After the show, you can
so
keep watching
interesting.
what we do. It's so interesting. You're even going to see what we're doing as the
definitely
credits
going to
roll.
forget that camera is there and
Me too. Yeah.
do something.
It's terrifying.
That I
there it
shouldn't.
is. There's
Pull a wedgie
we're
out or
live
something.
on the
It's
TikTok.
hard to really tell.
There it is. There's a weird BTS
And there's a monitor
camera.
with so there's a behind the scenes camera.
Yep.
And then there's the program feed there, and you're getting the program audio as well. So if you there's people, hi, Devin. Yeah, there it is. We know what the kids want. like and subscribe.
So we're on TikTok as well. We also have all our socials going out on TikTok, on Instagram, on all the platforms as well. So head to backpocket.gg to get links to all those things, as well as the Patreon. If you're not subscribed to the Patreon and you're new to the show, we do highly recommend you go there. You'll get access to all sorts of extras, including, as Ruby mentioned before, the bonus ep of the podcast, which will come out tomorrow. Regular non-Patreon supporters, that'll be on your regular podcast feed of choice. There's also the post show, which is what we do after this. We will jump across to a private link that you get access to. If you join the Patreon right now, you will get, at the right level, you will see a link to that on the Patreon page. So that will go up live there. You can click that, come straight across to that. If you're in the Discord already, that'll be in the usual
It'll work
place.
the same
It'll
way.
go there as well. We just thought we'd put it both on Patreon there as well. If people thought, you know what, finally, this is the year. I'm signing up for the post show. I want to hear more about this hens. I want to hear more about this weird stuff that goes on behind the scenes. That's where you can hear all about it. We will be back same time next week. I'm finished.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I was getting to that.
Oh, well, I didn't. You sound like you were wrapping it up.
Well, okay. Thank you. Welcome back. Yes. The post show is brought to us by Oz Naminator. Thank you so much, one of our patrons, for supporting the show. And as we do every week with Oznaminator, we get a little bit of rhyming slang, and we try and work out what it is. We go around the horn, we go around the couches, and you guys need to tell me what... I mean, this is a double-edged one here. Oznaminator supports the show, and we come up with potato peeler. Aussie slang, potato peeler.
Copper feeler.
No, it is not copper feeler.
It's probably Sheila, and
as other rhyming
But
slang.
Sheila's already been one.
Yeah, I know.
Ruby,
that's
do you
why
want
I
to
think
guess?
it's doubled. Copper feeler is great.
Potato peeler.
Potato peeler.
Potato peeler.
Potato peeler.
Potato peeler. I know I did the Italian hand. Potato peeler.
Legos.
Legos. It's fresh, but freeze dried.
Blue healer?
It's not blue healer. I mean, I wanted to hear what you'd come up with. It is actually Sheila. It was correct. You were right with Sheila. So rhyming slang on top of rhyming slang. Sheila.
But is Sheila rhyming slang?
No,
Sheila's just a.
Sheila's
Sheila's
just like
a
a
No, but there was
slang
another
word.
one that meant Sheila.
Oh, there was?
There was,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, right. Well, it's not like I just quickly pulled this list up and skimmed down and saw the first thing I
No,
could
no,
read.
this was really well
This
thought
was
through.
rehearsed. This is what the show is. It's rehearsed and it's well put together.
Yep.
What was the other one that was Sheila?
Copper feeler.
Copper feeler. We'll shut down the TikTok for the post show, won't we?
Yeah, of course.
We have to.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
You don't get access to the post show through that.
No.
Yeah. Also, it just shouldn't be on TikTok.
We will get
the
our
things
TikTok
that are
account
talked about on
banned,
the post show,
Yeah,
yes. Do not go across there. Thank you, Josh, for the reminder there. Thank you to Oznaminator. Thank you to all the patrons who did support the show and our top stitch as well. You will be seen now in the credits that run at the end of the show. We're doing things a little differently. We won't be reading them out in all comical voices. We ran out of voices. So now we're doing things a little more professionally. A few more changes.
No. Peter,
stop. I know you're dressing.
I know what that face means. That means he's coming out, and I don't want him to come out. Not tonight.
Not tonight. Not tonight, that
hate
voice.
it.
So the credits will be at the end of the show, and then, of course, you can come across the post show. Next week, we're back doing the same thing. We will have a special guest. We will be inviting streamer Trash to come and join us. They stream all sorts of stuff, and it's their first time on the show, so we'll be joined by them and a couple of the usual criminals here as well. So please make sure you've got that dialed in to watch us as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyone want to add anything for our first show back? I had a great time. Oh, no. That's it.
Yeah.
We're going to back it out. Thank
Cut
you,
the
Josh.
feed.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, all the mods. We'll catch you guys next week. We'll see you later. Let's back it out.
Bye-bye
Goodbye.
now.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.